on a frame of reference, they're saying that he kept, what was it, a couple boxes of presidential documents. They haven't told us what sorts of presidential documents, but he kept a couple boxes of presidential documents. Obama, in comparison, kept several million pages of government documents. The Clintons kept hundreds of thousands. And even Biden himself, though not president at the time, kept several thousand pages in, I think it was 100 and something boxes. Yes, it's 30 million documents was the Obama number. So they rated Trump over potentially up to 2 boxes from what they've been saying, but they aren't very specific about what, why, or how. They're just saying that he might have kept documents related to nuclear information. What sort of nuclear information, they have yet to tell anyone, but they say some sort of nuclear document. Strange that they're saying there's a nuclear document that he has, and they aren't being any more precise than that. Yes, not vetted as to their nature, despite what they claimed. They also said that they provided the Trumps with a copy of the warrant. The Trumps have fervently denied that they received a copy of the warrant and have said that they're perfectly fine if the first copy of the warrant that they get is when the FBI completely discloses the warrant. In fact, they're all for the FBI completely disclosing the warrant without any to do. Yet the FBI is saying, no, you guys need to come to this court case if you want us not to publish it. And the Trumps are going, no, just publish it. Put that information out, get everything out into the open, do it now. And they're trying to drag their feet on actually publishing the particular documents. So it is rather frustrating, everything that's coming out about this. Oh yeah, and it is absolutely impossible for them to vet that number of documents in the time that they said. And the thing that is still just absolutely enraging to me is they're trying to act as if this is the first time. Like I just said, it's nowhere near the first time. It's happened time and time and time again where a president has left office. It's common practice that you take a shit ton of your documents. Now, you don't take the only copies of documents that the next president needs, but it's common practice that you take a shit ton of your documents. Happens all the time. Like I said, 30 million documents. That's not some rare thing. 30 million from one president, Obama, hundreds of thousands from Clinton, just Bill, not counting Hillary in her time of absconding with a ridiculous number of documents, keeping them improperly, the FBI admitting that she kept them improperly, her destroying everything to try to cover that she kept them improperly, the FBI admitting that she destroyed everything improperly while trying to hide the fact that she had kept them improperly. But it was just a misunderstanding. You have to understand that, guys. It was just a misunderstanding. It wasn't anything to really worry about. And looks like I'm being joined by Camel this evening now. Hello, Camel. How goes?
I just woke up like 30 minutes ago.
Ah. Have a good sleep?
Not really. I mean, a social worker showed up at like 9 a.m. as I was trying to go to sleep the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like, just called like, hey, can I, come by? I'm like, yeah, I suppose. You guys awake? It's like, I am. Shows up like a few minutes later. You know, stay there for like an hour, and then they leave. It's like, all right, well, I can try and go to sleep, but if I, as soon as I do, like, nurse or somebody's going to want to show up because nobody pays attention when I say, hey, afternoon.
Yeah, it always amazes me how people will completely ignore any request for afternoon, late afternoon, especially.
So they showed up like, I don't know. I think she actually did show up like afternoon. It's like maybe 12:30, 1 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of feel bad because, like, I hear the knock on the door, and again, I am like an eyelash away from sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And throw the blanket off of me, grab a shirt, go to the door. I just opened it, walked right back to bed, threw the blanket over me. You know where
Nice.
she's at. Leave me alone.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, after she left, I actually did finally like go to sleep, and I think I got like 9 hours, eight and a half roughly.
That's not a bad bit of downtime.
No, but I mean, the problem was that it threw off my sleep schedule again.
Mm-hmm.
Because we were talking last night. I was getting about like a 4-hour nap, and then be up, and then
Another 4. You
late afternoon, get like another 4.
Yeah, you had the bimodal sleep cycle going.
Yeah, kind of, sort of. I mean, it wasn't like wasn't a hard and fast. I'm gonna sleep for 4 and then be up and then sleep for another 4. It was just like I think I can get a nap right now. I'm gonna try and do that.
Mm-hmm.
But enough about my poor sleep hygiene. Here's another one that you can throw on your little list of documents and whatnot. Sandy Berger. Does that name ring any bells?
It sounds familiar. Do enlighten me and everyone else.
I learned about Sandy Berger from Razor Fist on Twitter earlier today. Guy worked for Clinton, Bill, and not only did he take top secret documents out of the White House, he destroyed some of them.
Yep.
Not a damn thing happened to old Sandy.
Yep.
There was no FBI raids. There was no, nothing.
Yeah, that's the thing that pisses me off. Because if you want to have the rule of, well, he had documents, so we need to go after him for that. Okay, so we're going after everyone for that, right? No, just him. Fuck you. That isn't how laws are done in the U.S. That's how laws are done in banana republics. That's how laws are done in 2-bit dictatorships. The way that it's been done in the United States, at least the way that we've endeavored to have it done, despite certain efforts, is the law's the law. And also, one of the reasons why people are thinking that they might be doing this is there's a regulation that is in place for running for elected offices. That it says if someone's been convicted of possessing government documents illegally, then they aren't allowed to run for public office. There's one thing that they don't seem to realize. Do you know who that law doesn't apply to?
I'm going to guess it's the president, because these people are fucking retarded.
Do you know why it doesn't apply to the president?
Not off the top of my head. Like I said, I'm still waking up. I'm literally like 2 sips into my first energy drink of the night.
Because it is made very fucking clear that the only way that you can restrict someone from the presidency for anything like that, the only way that you can change what the Constitution says as to who can run for the presidency, which, by the way, the Constitution allows for people that are actively serving prison sentences to run for president. There's nothing illegal for that. You can be a ex-con, you can be a current con in a prison, and you can run for presidency.
As long as you're 35 and natural born.
Yep. The only way that you can add any further restrictions to who can run for president is via a constitutional amendment. So that law applies to a bunch of other parts of the government. It does not apply at all to the president because it wasn't a constitutional amendment. And
Yeah,
looks like we're
not
being
surprised.
joined by an Adam as well. Hello, Adam. How goes?
Greetings. How's it going?
It goes fairly well. Just shooting the shit with Camel and raging out about the absurdity of
I'll be right
the
back.
Mar-a-Lago raid.
The what? What happened?
The Mar-a-Lago, Trump's place got raided a few days ago. Mar-a-Lago
By who?
by the FBI. Have you not heard about this story yet?
The American FBI?
Yep. At least purportedly the American FBI. So, have you not heard this story yet, Adam?
Oh,
if
no,
not, I'll go into full detail.
I've heard it. Just having a little fun with it. Considering
Just making sure, because if so, I could go into detail.
No, I think the last I heard was they're trying to pin it on he had nuclear fucking documents or some shit, and it was like,
Yep.
yeah, no, that's
And
it's
they're
ridiculous.
trying to make it sound like it's first that the president has left the presidency with a bunch of government documents. So mention the fact that Obama had 30 million different documents. When
Oh
he
yeah,
left
for his
the-
Chicago,
No,
Chicago library or whatever they were going to do it for.
Oh no, the one that was going to donate it to a library. So Obama left with that number of documents, said that he would scan them in over the next few years and give them all to the National Archive. The National Archive has reported that since that promise, they have received an absolutely astronomical 0 documents. 0. Not a single one of the 30 million documents has been scanned in and sent to the National Archive. 0. Then it was Biden who was pledging that he would give a shit ton of documents to the... trying to remember which library it was. It was... I want to say Delaware's library. I could be wrong. It was to one of the state government libraries that's kind of a subsidiary of the National Archive, effectively. Their feeder library. And they have reported that they've received 0 documents since that promise was made and since he left office after serving as vice president. Then there was, of course, Bill Clinton, who also said that he would give a good chunk of his documents to a specific library group, and they've received 0 of those documents, and he left with several 100,000 documents. Then there's Hillary Clinton, who wasn't even serving as president, who left with a fuck ton of documents. Also, as was pointed out, there was the Clintons colluded with a lackey to illegally access government documents, and they didn't get charged for that. Then there was the person that Camel mentioned by name, who was also one of Clinton's subordinates, that acquired illegally government documents and then burned them. Then there's all the documents that were destroyed by Clinton. So the idea that this is something that has never been done before. Bullshit. If you're going after one person for having government documents, then you have to go after everyone for having those government documents in the same manner, especially if they have them in an even worse and more shady manner.
I mean, the thing is, the difference between all of those examples and Trump is
they had a D next to their name.
Well, no. I mean, the simple fact that those people were all true Americans, and anything that they were doing was not nefarious in any way. You know, it was simple oopsie doopsie mistakes. But Trump, I mean, obviously he had nuclear codes that he was selling on eBay, and that's what he was doing at Mar-a-Lago. So, I mean, there's a clear difference. I mean, a bunch of emails about weddings and, you know, dinner. Who cares? Nuclear codes, and he stashed them in Melania's, you know, underwear drawer. This is a little bit different.
Yep, and you've also heard that the FBI stated that they gave the Trumps a copy of the search warrant, right? And
Well,
that
I mean,
Trumps have vehemently denied this and have been saying we're even fine if the first copy that we get is when you just publish it for everyone. Just let everyone read what the fuck this warrant was about.
a few days later, mind you.
They've been requesting that it all gets just published openly. All the documents about why this search was, the search warrant, all that information, they've been requesting that it gets published for everyone to see. And the FBI has been dragging their heels, including, very strangely, in response to the Trumps saying that, yeah, go ahead, publish everything. The FBI coming back and saying, well, if you want to stop us from publishing everything, then you have to show up in court on this day, and you have to give us a good reason why we won't, or why we shouldn't publish everything. And the Trumps just kind of went, no, we're telling you to publish everything. What the fuck was that about? What do you mean if we want you to not publish it, we have to come and have our day in court? We want you to publish it. So just fucking publish it. No, you need to have your day in court in order to prevent us from publishing it. No, we're telling you to publish it.
Yeah, I mean, the whole scenario is just odd. Even if you're dipping your toe in it, and well, I don't know. I mean, because it also depends on the person's understanding of, I guess, the FBI and you know, its purpose. Because I don't know, there seems to be a bit too many people who sit there and, oh well, I mean, if they raided Mar-a-Lago, they must have had, you know, some good justification as to why. And it's like, well, no. I mean, the FBI does whatever the fuck they want. And there's multiple cases over the past few years to show you that.
Yep,
And
I think it's time for a repeat of, you know how the FBI and the CIA were originally made, right?
Yes.
So, Camel, do you know how they were made?
I mean, the CIA was formed out of OSS. The FBI,
Yep.
I'm a little fuzzier on.
So both of them had predecessors. The CIA had the OSS. And the OSS did some amazing work during World War II. No one's going to take that away from OSS. But then OSS started doing really shady shit. So the government went, okay, we're going to get rid of OSS and we're going to start up the CIA. Unfortunately, the CIA almost immediately started doing really shady shit, and they didn't scrap that to start a new one. But I think it's time to scrap it and start a new one.
I would say both of them. I mean, both of them are shady to get go.
And
you know, from but at least it was American type shady.
Might
but-
I? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say just real quick. I would say that a lot of them got really dirty after World War II with Operation Paperclip, getting with both of their fillers getting filled with uh, different ideas, so to speak.
Yep. Yeah, and the other group that was the predecessor to the FBI was the Office of the Coordinator of Information.
And they helped with getting rid of bootlegging, or attempting.
Yep, they, again, did really great work when they were first started up. Then they started going a bit shady, so we scrapped them and started a new body that would oversee much the same thing. Well, originally it didn't even start with as much of a agent force. That wasn't until Hoover expanded it, because originally they went, yeah, the Office of the Coordinator of Information did some amazing work. Then it started getting a bit overzealous. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a new office that has all of the skills of the Office of the Coordinator of Information, but it doesn't have the active arm of it. And that's what the FBI started out as. The FBI started out effectively as a bunch of forensic accountants and investigators of that stripe. So they could do investigation about money, investigation of various crimes. They were the ones that were kind of spearheading a lot of the developments in forensic investigation. Then they went from that to J. Edgar came in, and in order to deal with the mafia a bit more, he requested that they get active component field agents that would go out. And
was it the mafia or was it like the bank robbers?
it was the mafia, and then it was also used for bank robbers. So it started with mafia and Dillinger were the two that started it off.
Well, I recall one of the FBI's victims was an Oklahoman, Pretty Boy Floyd.
Yep.
He had a giant funeral when down here when they killed him.
Yeah, they started dealing with the mafia, and then they went on to bank robbers because a lot of those were going across state lines. So J. Edgar pushed for them having a active arm. Shall we phrase it that way?
Hey man, if it weren't for bank robbers and prohibition, we wouldn't have NASCAR. I mean, you gotta take your wins where you can get them, right?
Is NASCAR really a win?
I'd say it's not bad.
Hey, come on, man! We wouldn't have Shake and Bake.
I'm not as big a fan as Jacob Jett.
Yep.
But I did. I was sitting there trying to fall asleep today. Multiple times today, and
turned it on. Listened to them turn left.
No, actually, Dale Earnhardt Jr. has a podcast. And so I was going down like memory lane, listening to him talk to people about like his dad winning the '98 Daytona 500. He talked to the crew chief that was involved with that.
Very
nice. He talked to other drivers and family members. Like his uncle, Danny. And then there's a little documentary I saw about Bill Elliott's nephew, Casey Elliott, who sadly passed away from a brain tumor before he got a chance to race in the Cup Series. So yeah, that's how I drifted off to sleep today, was listening to stories about race car drivers.
Understandable, but yeah, I think we've reached a point where it's, again, we need to scrap what we currently have.
Might I throw another recommendation on the pyre?
If
NSA.
You're going to say, okay, NSA, that's also a decent one. I was thinking the ATF, which
ATF, DEA. I can give you a list.
Pretty much just a list of all the alphabets.
And unlike Rick Perry, I can actually remember my list.
Yep.
So
yeah, it's pretty much just going to be a list of all the various alphabets.
It was a door pull. For the love of God, it wasn't a noose. I'm tired of hearing that shit.
Yep.
Hey, I'm also tired of hearing that there's good people in these institutes and that a lot of them will lose. I really could give two shits. Look, if there's people out there who could give two shits about factory jobs going overseas, or who could give two shits about any sort of industry collapsing in America, I'm sorry. These alphabet bureaucracies that are there and are providing jobs for people, I could give two shits if you are now having to stand in line at the unemployment office.
And the way that I view it is, if I will agree that there's good people in there, but the way that I would handle that is you nuke the departments, then each person you go through one by one. You completely exclude anyone that was in the management/command positions. They're gone. They aren't getting a job in the new department. They're just fucking nuked. But then you want to talk about individual field agents? Okay, get all the documents that they were associated with and go through their work one by one and decide, is this someone who was doing good work? In which case, yeah, you're making a new office. You want people that know how to do the job, and you want people that are moral. Then if you find someone who knows how to do the job and they're moral, fucking let them work it. Even if it's that they were in the previous disease-ridden corpse that we had beforehand. If they were good, then keep them on. But you do it in a case-by-case basis. You just break it, you start from scratch, and then if someone comes back and they go, hey, I was a former field agent for the previous department, then you go, okay, we have all the documents from when you were a field agent. Let's look into your work as a field agent. Oh, turns out that you caught this chomo, you broke up this ring of them, you broke up this bit of banking fraud, and you did this. Okay, you're hired back on. If they come up and they go, hey, I was a former field agent, and you look into it and you are looking at their paperwork and you're going, oh, you were the sniper at Ruby Ridge and the sniper at Waco and the sniper at this and the sniper at that. All of these were massive fuck-ups that you were directly responsible for. Get fucked. That's the way that you handle it. You go case by case and you look at them. Because, yes, there are good FBI agents. Probably a lot of their forensic analysts are good shit. When you're going into their labs, probably a lot of really good people in those labs. When you're looking at certain sorts of field agents, probably a lot of really fucking amazing people. Anyone that specializes in breaking up chomo rings, probably really fucking good. But then there's a shit ton of them that are just absolutely useless. And worse, they are making work for themselves to fuck people over. A good example of this is the Whitmer incident, where of, 21 people in the Whitmer conspiracy, and 14 of them were FBI, or was it 14 and it was 11 of them? I remember it was some ridiculous breakdown like that.
As I recall, there was one vehicle that they drove like a couple of trucks to do the recon or whatever.
Yep.
And one of them had like 2 undercover agents, I think 2 informants, and 1 patsy.
Yeah, it was, if I remember.
If I'm not mistaken, it was like 80% feds and 20% idiots.
Yeah,
The
like I
thing
said,
is,
I think
that
it was 11 and 14. So of 14
I want to say there were like
people that
4 or 5 guys that they're actually trying to nab.
but
Oh yeah,
but
I'm
even
saying,
at that, and with everything you were saying, Sanguine, I think
yep.
that's a pie in the sky type of view on it. I think because even there's pencil pushers who are looking at the documents and saying, "Yeah, I'm just going to do my job and pass it through." Just like with Whitmore, I'm sure that it wasn't just the people who were on the ground trying to stir shit up. There were other people who were working alongside him in the agency that were trying to promote it, trying to get it to work. And I'm sorry, those people, they don't deserve a job. They don't
Oh yeah,
deserve to work in this area. There's a
and
shit ton of these people, even if they weren't directly involved, but they were involved enough, and they should have known better. That again, if they're not whistleblowing right now, they're not good people, and they
and
shouldn't be in these positions at all. They shouldn't have any of this power at
and
all.
that's what I'm saying, because I would say that the people that are the sort that you're currently talking about, they come in probably two major flavors. You have the oversight personnel. They need to just be nuked. They aren't fit to purpose. And you have the management. They need to be nuked. They aren't fit to purpose. But
Yeah, I mean the
like I
janitor.
said,
That's one thing. He was just washing
like
the toilets. I get it, but there's still the people who are sitting there behind the desks who are running the software and are sitting there directing people, and they may not have like a concrete direct connection to what was going on, but they were still involved, and they may have known, and if they had did know what they were fucking doing, even in the slightest of instance, even like in things like Ruby Ridge, if they were sitting there and like they knew that yeah, these were like some weirdo people, but they still didn't deserve to be ambushed and siege.
yep.
At some point, you have to sit there and be like, okay, dude, this guy's pulling the lever for, and I hate to go right, to this, but it's a cookie cutter fucking example, but the guy pulling the lever at Auschwitz, he had to have known. Or the people who were in the village, they were like, yeah, we notice all this soot and the smell. They had to have known. Like, there's no, you can't just, oh, okay, well, these, no.
That's why I'm saying that the people that would be completely just, nope, you were in this position, you're gone. I don't give a shit. I'm not wasting time to look into you.
Of the 3 of us here, I really expected Adam to go Godwin the least.
Or the
You do not know me, sir.
or the management, fuck them. They don't get to be brought back. That includes low management. That includes high management. I don't.
And all the fucking
They're
lawyers.
gone.
Yeah.
The oversight, which includes effectively the lawyers, fuck them. They're gone. The people that I'm saying that I would do the case by case are the individual field agents, the forensic laboratory techs, and those sorts. The ones that
The boots on the ground people, the agents,
Yeah.
the
if you're
forensic
an agent,
analysis,
if you're
HRT personnel.
if you're an agent that your entire tasking was you were going after chomos and you did your job, you went after chomos, you did a good job going after chomos, then yeah, welcome back to the new agency. If you were one of the people on the shady shit, then no, fuck you, you're gone. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that the management, we would look into them, because again, fuck them. They've proven themselves unfit for purpose.
No,
I'm not saying that we would look into the oversight staff, because fuck them. They clearly aren't fit for purpose. It is just the individual people, and a good chunk of them, fuck them too, which is why I'm saying what you'd do is you'd look into what their actual record was, what they were actually doing. And it's if they were doing good shit, if they were doing shit that you want done by this agency going into the future, then give them a position in the new agency. If they were on anything shady, if there's anything that's making you go, they're a bit whiffy, fuck them.
Damn, see, and this just reminds me of a proverb. I can't remember what it is, and you know me, I don't like going looking up shit on the as we're live. But it was something about like, you know, God saying, "Hey, check out the guy who's smelting silver." You know, they're putting it through the fire, making sure, and they got to pull it out right at the right end to make sure they get a pure bit of silver. But you know, they gotta put it over the fires to weed out the impurities of it.
Yep.
But they got to do it at a certain end. If they do it too long, it you know, it sours over or whatever. You know, I butchered it. But that's kind of like, yeah, well, that's what I'm at, you know, like, yeah, let the fires burn out the impurities of this agency. And if there is any pure people in there that are working it, yeah, give them another chance.
Yep.
Give them a, you know, but at the end of the day, I find that number to be very small.
Oh yeah, I would find myself more content if we didn't hire back a single soul than if we hired back too many.
Yes.
That's where I am. But while I'm of that mind, I would still prefer looking at each individual and weighing their work and going, okay, these ones, they did good work. Again, the people that are probably the clearest example that I don't think anyone will find any fault with saying these people should be in their position are the ones going after chomos. The only people that get pissed off at the agents going after chomos are the chomos.
Well, not only that, but I mean, I'm sure there's positions where they don't even know what they're dealing with. They're just told to, hey, take this mound of paperwork and send it over here. Or even that, you know, take this and just digitize it. You know, like, I can understand that. You know, even they may see kind of what it is, but at the same end, it's like, dude, their only job is to digitize it. You know, but yeah, no, yeah. I mean, especially with what's going on, I would say if you're seeing shit and you're not calling them out on it, like, I'm sorry, you're
If you see something, say something.
Say something. Yeah, well, I was about to say old school. If you see something,
no, but it's like I get that it's, you know, oh, but I need a job and blah blah blah, and it's like, yeah, but yo, right now that your job is looking like Gestapo shit, so maybe don't think about that. Like, think about what the fuck you're doing, you know, because it really is a bad look. It really is a bad look right now, and I don't care. I'm more. To be honest, I'm more interested in the TDS, that there's still people out there that wholeheartedly believe that Trump decided to take nuclear codes and put them in boxes and bring them to Mar-a-Lago. Mm-hmm. And even after the, I think it was the FBI, right? That they came, well, the National Archivists, you know, they were like, hey, you know, we got to look at those. They came in and they told him to put extra security on it, and he did so. And that was the same shit that they went after. Like, if you're hearing that and you're sitting there like, yup, the FBI did a good job. They certainly did the right thing and prevented that mean old Donald Trump from selling off nuclear secrets. Like, it's a fucking... This is a Hanna-Barbera cartoon? What the fuck?
Yeah, I was about to say.
What got me about it was, we're sitting here. This is the 12th of August, 2022. He left office January 20th of 2021.
Yep.
So what? Roughly 19 months ago?
Yep.
They were talking about him taking stuff out of the White House then.
Yep.
I remember that, you know, like, what was it, like there was like a statue bust or something like that they were complaining, like one of the aides or somebody that worked for him was taking it out of the White House.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so they were complaining about stuff being taken out of the White House in January of last year.
And just
But for
correct-
some reason, they're just now getting around to searching his place for nuclear documents
Yep,
that he
and
may have taken.
just to correct one thing about the voice that you used, Adam, you need to add in a little bit more of Captain Kirk in order to get a proper Obama going.
Well,
Because Obama, I've said this before, and I will continue saying this. In order to do an Obama voice, you do Captain Kirk mixed with Yogi Bear.
And a little bit
spot
of
on Obama.
a little bit of California Surfer with the Uz. You know?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if I was trying to do an Obama. I was trying to do, but it's like it. That's what it is. And I'm sorry. Look, humans, if you're listening to this and you believe that, if that's something you believe, you are fucking dumb. You are a dumb human. Okay, so either shut the fuck up and get the fuck out of the way, or educate yourself into what the fuck is actually going on. Like this, it's really that simple. It is. I cannot believe that there are still people out there that are like, oh no, but Trump, he was selling shit to Russia and Saudi Arabia. Are you fucking kidding me, dude?
I think the Saudi Arabia one's my favorite of the conspiracy theories.
Oh my God.
He hid the documents in his dead ex-wife's grave, so that way when the Saudis came for their golf tournament, he could hand them over then.
Shit.
Like, are you fucking insane?
It's because he's still pissed that they are shelved his piss video, so now he's getting revenge finally.
It's been 6 years, still no piss tape.
It's absolutely ridiculous. And I just have to bust your balls for a slight second, Adam. Channel, did you also get a little bit of a chuckle when it started sounding like Adam was referring to himself as not a human?
I was thinking of Fifth Element. I was like, negative. I'm a meat popsicle.
I'm a meat popsicle.
Yeah, because if you're a human and you're doing these things, you're a bad human. I'm a third-party observer.
Well, sir, I am but a humble camel, so maybe you're talking to me.
Talking dwarf.
I personally identify myself as an Agigi. I am just a watcher, okay? I'm just here to observe you humans, and so far it's been comical.
Adam is a voyeur confirmed.
There you go. I'm watching you.
So
Sanguine, the call is coming from inside the house.
Get that window open.
We just learned that apparently none of us are properly human. You're a camel, I'm a giant dwarf, and he's a watcher.
Yeah, I'm watching. An ancient Sumerian alien technology. Okay.
I swear to fucking God, if you go straight up ancient aliens second half of the first episode, have you guys seen?
I'm not saying they're aliens.
I don't know how many times.
But they're aliens.
Stream, but it is still something that I find fucking hilarious. Have you ever seen the very first episode of Ancient Aliens? The pilot episode of Ancient Aliens?
I think maybe once. I was probably either like half asleep or stoned. It's been a while.
You need to watch the pilot episode, Adam, because the pilot episode is a fucking trip. It starts off, and in the pilot episode, it doesn't want to go full crazy. It doesn't want to scare you right away. So it starts off with, hey, you know how in Egyptian tombs there were miniaturized versions of things that we know existed? We all know this,
helicopter
right?
Thing, right?
So there's this one artifact that we pulled from this specific tomb that when you look at it, the wings of this bird are made almost like a perfect airfoil. And when you look at the tail's also designed right. It just looks like something broke off. And if we put just a horizontal strut on this portion where it looks like something broke off, and we make a version that is identical to this and slap that son of a bitch in a wind tunnel, holy shit, this is a fucking amazing glider. So, isn't that kind of cool? Because again, they would have miniaturized versions of things that actually existed. If this is a miniaturized version of something that actually existed, and it was in a section that makes it seem likely that this might be a miniaturized version, the ancient Egyptians might have had fucking gliders. That's awesome. And not only were the ancient Egyptians potentially the ones that had gliders, but if we jump halfway across the world and we go to South America, again, there's a kind of tradition among the Inca of a lot of their jewelry and things like that were miniaturized versions of things that they actually used and things that they had. And if you look at this one piece of very traditional Inca jewelry, it kind of looks like a glider as well. So the Inca might have had gliders as well, because if we scale this up, we make it out of something other than metal. Yeah, this son of a bitch glides as well. So we have two cultures that might have had gliders. Isn't that fucking cool? And they just start going into different things like that, where it's these things could have been something that this ancient society had, but we don't have any surviving examples except for these small things that are indications that they might have had it. Isn't that kind of cool? Let's talk about that. Aren't humans absolutely amazing? So that's the first half of the episode, and that half is really fucking awesome. Second half, it comes back from a commercial break straight to, so the Jews were wandering in the deserts after Moses freed them from the slavery under the ancient Egyptians for 40 days and 40 nights, and it mentions manna raining from heaven. And it describes manna as something that can sustain life and that you could just pick it up and eat it right off the ground. And that was what allowed them to continue wandering in this desert. It gave them enough water. It gave them enough food. It sustained them. So clearly this is this one specific type of algae that if you make a slurry of, we're able to feed it to astronauts. And the way that this was fed to the ancient Israelites is there was a machine that was made by aliens called the manna machine. And the manna machine mixed this algae into water and then sprayed it into the clouds, seeding the clouds with this particular type of algae slurry. And then it rained down upon the ancient Israelites, who then ate this weird green rain and found out that it sustained life. So the aliens were the ones that were inspiring the ancient Israelites. And you're just going, what the fuck happened?
I'm too sober for this conversation.
How did you go from, isn't it kind of cool, humans might have had gliders well before we thought that they had gliders, to aliens made this machine that then mixed a type of algae into a slurry, then somehow seeded the clouds with this algae slurry to have it just come pissing down on the ancient Israelites as they wandered in the desert for 40 days and 40 nights. Because that fucking makes sense, only being divided from each other by a goddamn ad break. And it is literally ad break immediately into that. No preamble, nothing else. Just comes back from an ad break after talking about gliders to the aliens made a machine that mixed algae into clouds.
See, I think I remember that episode because I remember all those segments.
Yep.
I don't recall the mana machine. I think I remember it being, for some reason, I remember it being that maybe they did a second bit on it, but that there was a UFO that was leading them around and it was dropping the mana as opposed to them making a machine. And I think it was the Ark of the Covenant was just more of a like a nuclear device or something like that was keeping them powered up or something like that as they were in the I can't remember. It was goofy. But I mean, the thing is, like, there are some decent tidbits of information that you get out of that. Like, I would say the Robert Schoch, or the Dr. Robert Schoch's observation on the Sphinx was pretty good. You know, they hide some bits in there, but yeah, a lot of the stuff is goofy shit. But it's
the glider bit was amazing, and it was really cool. You're kind of being drawn along with this interesting story of how we might have had gliders.
Yeah, and the helioglyphs at the Temple of Karnak, where it looks like a helicopter and
Yep.
a jet plane. It's interesting to look at. And even the archaeologists who discovered, even they don't know. I mean, there's
Yep.
still people who believe that Khufu built the pyramids when Khufu never stated that. There's no record of him saying that he built it. He just maintained it. Even the Sphinx, there was a prince that they attribute the creation of it to, but he's only mentioned in the sleeping. I can't remember what it's called, the sleeping cartouche or the sleeping whatever it's called, but it was essentially he was sleeping underneath the head of the Sphinx, and he was told the Sphinx told him to fucking dig, and he dug, and that was it. And that's why, like I said, when you look at what the geologist Dr. Robert Schoch said, the sides of the Sphinx looks like it was eroded based on rainwater, so it might be older than it is, and that coincides with the sleeping cartouche or whatever it's called, where he was sleeping under the head, and they told him to dig it up. And the same thing with Khufu. He was saying he was maintaining it, he was cleaning it up. He wasn't. He was building it. And that's the thing that a lot. But you also get into I can't remember his name. I want to say Azi Hawass, but I think he's a different guy. Whoever was the head, I don't think he's still there anymore, but he was the head of the Egypt Historical Society.
The pyramids guy.
Yeah, where he was pretty much everything was ancient Egypt. Everything, they all did it.
So John Anthony West?
Well,
no, he's talking about the Egyptian Egyptologist that was used for everything, and he was the one who, if you've ever seen anything about the pyramids, and there's a guy who says pyramids in the weirdest fucking way, like it's pyramids rather than pyramids, but pyramids.
Well, no, there's the guy who is an actual head of the Egypt Historical Society, or like the Archaeological Society, and there was another guy who sounded like him, but he just wrote a book on it, and he was the other guy who wrote a book. Yeah, he was kind of crazy because he would go into like, no, you don't understand. They came from the skies and they crafted these pyramids, and it's like,
shit,
chariots of the gods.
David Icke.
No. I both believe these both.
Pyramid god was the actual guy who was put in charge by the Egyptian government. Corrupt as fuck.
He was. Let's just say
knowledgeable.
There was a point when they found like a different passageway in the Great Pyramid, and I think there was a team of German college students who wanted to build a robot and put it in there, and he was incredibly against it.
Yep.
And finally got the passage, and that's where you get the video of like the robot going through this little passage, and at the end there's a door with a hook or a handle, and then there's some writing, and they still don't know what that's for.
Mm-hmm.
But again, this guy was like, no, that was put in there because the ancient Egyptians built it. That's what they did. It's all ancient Egyptians, and it's like, well, you don't know that. You are saying it because you're the head of the fucking Egypt archaeology team or whatever the fuck it is. It's like.
But I do love the people that have looked into, because one of the old arguments for no, this was definitely not made by the ancient Egyptians was, how would have they ever made the stones this flush? Which there's a lot of ancient structures with really well carved stones, and an experimental archaeologist went, well, here, I made the tools that they were using at the time in the exact same way as they would have made them, according to all the documents that we have, out of the same materials that they said that they had. And yeah, I can do that. I did it over here. Look, it's behind my shed. And he just showed people, yeah, this is how you do this with these tools. It's kind of like there's two experimental archaeological specials that I saw that were really goddamn cool, in my opinion. One was about Stonehenge, because there's the how would have they ever moved these stones? It's ridiculous that they were able to do this. And an experimental archaeologist made tools that would have been able to be made at the time and kind of fit some of the records that we have. And he went, yeah, I made my own Stonehenge in my backyard using these tools and like 6 people for help. I think they could have done it this way, especially if they had more than 6 people. They could
Talking
have
about
very
like
easily done it this way.
talking about like Coral Castle.
I don't think it was that one.
I think I think Coral Castle was made by one guy.
Yeah. But then another one that I really loved was there's the Easter Island heads clearly were aliens as well. And there was a group of experimental archaeologists that went, okay, so there's all these documents about how the shit was made from oral traditions that were passed down. One of the weird parts, we will grant everyone this sounds kind of weird, is that according to the traditions, the stone heads walked to their final location. But when you're going about the island, you see a bunch of toppled over, incomplete stone heads leading from where the stone came from to where the Easter Island heads ended up. We think we might know how this happened. So they ran an experiment to see if they could make the stones walk to their final location. And they were able to. The way that you did it was you had 4 teams pulling on 4 different ropes. So you had one rope that was pulling straight forward, and it was secured towards the base of the statue. You had one rope that was pulling straight backwards, that was attached to the upper third of the statue. And then you had 2 ropes, each of them off at a 45-degree angle, pulling backwards, that were at the middle point. So what they did was they had 4 teams pulling. The team that was pulling forward would have the greatest number of people. The people pulling back, effectively what they were doing is they would make sure that the statue doesn't topple forward onto its face, because all of the ones that they had found toppled over were toppled over onto their faces. And then the 2 teams at the 45s would pull in alternating times, so that you would have the people on the right pull, and the statue would kind of heel over to the right a little bit. And because you still have the people pulling forward, as it heeled over on the right side, it would raise the left side, and that side would kind of swing forward. And then you'd have the people on the left side pull, and the statue would come back to the left side, heel over, and the right side would lift up and kind of move forward. So it was this controlled, almost topple of the statue each time, as you had these different groups pulling, with the one group always pulling forward and the one group always pulling backwards. And the one group pulling backwards would provide just enough force to keep it from falling over. Which, that was a really cool experiment that they did. And with how successful it was, that kind of fucking seems like what probably happened. We don't know for sure, because you can't go back and see if that was right. But it's the best bet, if that makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
I love that this popped back up in my timeline.
What?
Oh, just a little palate cleanser. Somebody tweeted out a screenshot of a article from January last year. Ex-soldier raids animal shelter with assault rifle and full tactical gear to get cat back.
Nice.
God bless you crazy Australians.
Oh, was this after they killed the puppies?
I don't remember. I think the puppies came later. I think that was later, like maybe the summer of last year.
because if it was after the puppies, then this guy went the right fucking way.
Well, Cynic's in chat. Cynic, when did they try to start putting down the puppers because of the coof? That was after January of last year, wasn't it? Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, this is like a former, I think he was like former SAS.
No, they put down the puppies in 2020, didn't they?
Was it 2020?
Yeah, I think so.
God, I can't remember anymore, dude. It's just everything's just blurring together.
Yeah, the past 2 years have just blurred together in absolute shit.
Yeah, it's like the worst fucking smoothie you can imagine.
I can definitely understand that.
Oh, see, that was only New South Wales where they were putting down the pups.
But if you had your pet taken, even if it was only in New South Wales that they did it.
Oh, I'd go scorched earth.
Yeah, especially if you had the equipment and tactics, I could absolutely see this being the response of this dude going, they took my fucking pet. I'm pissed off about that. Also, they fucking killed pets in New South Wales. Fuck them. I'm going armed to the teeth.
Oh, I don't have the equipment or the tactics. I just go berserker.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, one regional council, actually. But yeah, fuck them. Exactly. That's the one reason why I tried to. Well, there's two reasons why I try to stay, out of trouble with the law. One's Nana Camel, and the other one is the pets. Because I got a gang of dogs. One of them's a Rottweiler. So, cops show up at my house, they're gonna shoot my dogs, which means they're gonna end up shooting me.
And it'll be Ruby Ridge 2.0.
Yeah.
But
yeah, good on that dude for getting his cat back. Oh, well, actually, I don't know if he did get his. I think he got the cat back, and then he ended up going to jail.
Probably more accurately, it would be Ruby Ridge 3.0 because Ruby Ridge was 1.0. Then Waco was 2.0, especially since Waco involved the same sniper from Ruby Ridge, involved the same team leads from Ruby Ridge, involved the same head of the department as Ruby Ridge, and involved a number of the same negotiators as Ruby Ridge.
If I recall, I think it was the lead. I want to say the lead, but the head of the FBI who was pretty much saying Waco was a means to absolve themselves, make their look better, make them look better after Ruby Ridge.
And this is why I threw ATF on that list, because they started both of those things.
Yeah, they were trying to get it to be that, which is why they put so much stress on the accusations, which it looks like some of the accusations were probably accurate. Some of them were made out of whole cloth. So, David Koresh being a creepy cult leader, that's accurate.
This
is America. If you can't be a creepy cult leader here, where can you be one?
Well, no.
Sleeping with a bunch of the women, that's accurate. Him sleeping with underage children, other than the one girl that he married that was 16 when he married her, doesn't look like there was any evidence of him sleeping with any of the others.
Yeah, there was. Okay. I saw a documentary on it. I cannot remember the YouTube person's name. I apologize.
Are you talking about the Wendigoon?
Yeah, Wendigo. Yeah. The only reason I can't remember is I cannot stand YouTubers who sit there and it's just their face. The Metronon does it, and even though I like his content, when he does his videos where it's just him talking to the camera, it's like, dude, put on a display. I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure people enjoy your face, but I don't want to sit here and watch you talk to the camera. Like, it's annoying. But I saw his documentary on that, and I also saw his documentary on I believe it was him on the Boys on the Track. If you guys
Yep.
get a chance,
It
take a look at that one.
was absolutely his documentary on the Boys on the Track, which is
The-
one of the most insane and what the fuck Bill Clinton videos that you can imagine.
Yeah. Yeah, if you want. Hey, but yeah, no, Bill Clinton, he killed a guy, didn't he? What? No, you're not supposed to. Come on. I thought everybody knew this. Some good old
I got a
man.
question that's completely off topic. I was
Uh-oh.
wondering, before I went to sleep today, I saw that Salman Rushdie got stabbed. Has there been any updates on his condition?
Who?
Oh, shit.
Salman Grundy got stabbed?
No,
Salman
Rushdie,
Rushdie,
the author of
the Satanic
the
Verses.
Satanic Verses. Which,
Oh, yeah. Wasn't he like, he was going on stage and somebody ran up and stabbed him?
Yeah. He was going to give a lecture in New York.
He wrote
I
what?
hadn't heard about this. Let's.
Oh, according to Reuters, he's
Hold
on a
up.
ventilator and he's unable to speak following hours of surgery.
Well,
Oh,
I was just more worried that Anne Hash
And Haish,
she succumbed to her her burns.
I'm sorry, I don't have nearly as much sympathy for Anne Heche as I do for the woman whose house she burned down when she ran into it.
No, you don't understand.
And,
She had a reason for that. Okay.
She had a reason for driving like a mad woman right into somebody's house.
Hold on. I don't know if they found drugs or alcohol on her system. I'm gonna assume that they did.
Yeah, they were investigating for felony DUI after they pulled her out of the rubble.
But it just seems weird that not only her, but there was a football player, I think, who was recently on tape being dragged out of his car for DUI. And then there was the guy from Adam Sandler, Shooter McGavin.
Shit.
I can't remember his name.
One
but
second.
But I saw he was recently pulled over for DUI. And there was another one who was pulled over for DUI. And I'm sitting here like, what the hell's going on with these? They must know something's going on.
No.
Or it's just Hollywood.
No, there's
Christopher McDonald is Shooter McGavin.
Shooter McGavin. I just like the fact that he was like, I was in a Happy Gilmore. Don't you know I'm Shooter McGavin?
Oh, he's been in a bunch more than just Happy Gilmore.
I know,
he was Stifler's dad, wasn't he?
I think so.
But like in one of the American Pie movies, not Sean William Scott, but one of the other Stiflers. Like,
no,
was it Beta House or whatever?
Well, okay, because I think I don't think they showed any other parent other than the main character's parent. Yeah, the guy with the
No. I'm saying like when his cousin when Stifler's cousin goes to college, it was a Beta House. I think's the movie. He was that Stifler's dad.
Oh, so it wasn't even.
He's been in a bunch of stuff. But no, like I don't feel, I feel bad that she died, and probably a painful death. I mean, she ended up passing out once they got in an ambulance. But I don't feel as bad for her as I do for the woman who's lost everything because her house burned down because some crazy actress drove into it at 90 miles an hour.
Oh yeah,
and I don't feel as bad as I do for Salman Rushdie, who got stabbed multiple times just for trying to give a talk.
There was the lady
They didn't like.
Oh, the what?
He wrote a book that the Ayatollah didn't like, so he put a fatwa out on him in like the 80s.
Yeah, the reason why Salman Rushdie has been having to deal with several attempted murders or
threats,
assassinations, death threats, attempted bombings, and shit like that is he wrote the Satanic Verses, which is a book that it's told from the perspective of the devil, if I remember correctly.
I've never actually got around to reading it. I mean, I've seen him on like talk shows and stuff, and they've brought up that he wrote this book, and he's got a price on his head. Which Adam, if somebody were to kill him for that fatwa, over $3 million.
Yeah, they'd become a millionaire immediately.
Well, their family would. They'd probably
But there's the premise of it, if I remember correctly, is it's told from the perspective of the devil telling someone what they've done. And the gist of it was, in order to lead humanity astray, they made a religion. And he goes through the explanation of how he made the religion and what he did in order to make the religion and everything that is in it that is so clearly wrong. And it is all Islam. So he made a religion by going and emphasizing the idea that you can't let anyone slander your religion. And if someone does, then they have to die. And he chose the worst person that he could imagine to be the prophet of his new religion. And he approached them as an angel and as God and as several other representations. All of them lies. But he made this man think that he was truly a prophet. And it was this man who he then inspired to take children as his bride, or a child as his bride, and it just goes on, and as it goes, you're realizing more and more this is Islam.
Mm-hmm. Well, the Ayatollah didn't put a fatwa on him because he said it was Judaism.
Yep. And it's a good book from everything I've heard. It's just a book that
I need to, one of these days I need to get to the library. I've been meaning to go check out what comics they had, and I just haven't got around to it. But I think I need to get out tomorrow and do some errands and everything. So maybe I'll swing by there on my way back home.
See if they have the good old Satanic Verses.
See if I can pick up the Satanic Verses and maybe some Punisher comics and whatever else I can do to get myself on another list.
Yeah, I was about to say, if you get both of those together, you might end up on a government list.
I've already read they had like a Garth Ennis's run of Punisher comics, so I've already read that one. And pick up the Satanic Verses. Maybe who knows, man? Maybe I'll see if I can like pick up like some of the like learn Arabic CDs or whatever. Just really, you know, throw on the Quran, maybe, Communist Manifesto, just, whatever else, the whole list. I'm going to get the whole list.
I was really worried that you're going to add in the Marquis de Sade and Sallow.
I mean, if my library has them, maybe I'll see if I can pick them up. Just have some FBI agent knocking on my door, It's like, are you here because of the library card or because of the stream I did last night?
Well, no. That'd be if you're lucky. They may give you the old Mar-a-Lago treatment and just raid your area and tell your lawyers to sit outside and turn the cameras off and go stifling through your panty drawer. Where's that book?
That's something else I saw online. Everyone talking about, well, he said that they were after this or that. Like he could release the warrant. Like, well, I heard that they didn't let his lawyers even see the warrant. So how could he release it if they weren't given a copy?
They said the FBI has been claiming that they got a copy. The Trumps, their lawyers, and several other people that were present at the time say they didn't get shit. The FBI has been, or the Trumps immediately started saying, hell, even if the first time that we see it is you opening it up so that the public can see it at the same time as us, fucking do it. Put the warrant out into the public. Let everyone see what the fuck you came for and why you were able to get this. Put all that paperwork out. And like I said earlier on, the FBI had the weirdest fucking response to the Trumps saying this. Because the FBI, after being told by the Trumps to publish everything, to put it all out into the public square so that everyone can see, They went, well, we're going to, but if you want to stop us, then you have to come to this court date and petition us not to do it. And the Trumps are going, we fucking told you to do it. Why the fuck are you telling us?
Not only that, but you notice that their initial response was, we're going to do this. However, we are getting an alarming number of hostile comments towards us, and we're worried about our agents, and we shouldn't have to deal with death threats. And then like the next day there's a guy in Ohio shooting up an FBI building, and it's like, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I've been on the Adam Jones train for a while.
You mean Alex?
No, Adam,
the guitarist from Tool.
Well,
what's he been up to? I haven't heard shit about him in a while.
You haven't heard about our mythology either. Adam Jones is a character on this show. But
Adam Jones is when Adam goes into the full-blown
when he goes full Eagle Balls, or
not when he goes full Eagle Balls.
Oh, and shit, Eagle Balls, fucking what's his name from Cobra Kai, Sensei Lawrence. He goes in there like, the eagle flies so high.
Eagle Fang, yeah.
Yeah, and I told him like, yeah, that's I'm called Eagle Balls, and they're like, that's because you're bird brain, and I'm like, oh shit, yes.
That reminds me, I was going to say, we need to see what the process of getting Adam a proper native name, so that he can be the man who flies with eagles.
Man who flies with eagles. Well, I didn't want to be too graphic on there, but I'm glad he responded. But no. Oh shit! What was I saying before this?
Family, you willing to adopt Adam into your family?
Yeah, sure. I've always wanted a brother, but I just we don't do the Indian names in the Choctaws.
Well,
we're one of the civilized tribes.
Look,
we need to find one of the savages then, apparently.
Look, we'll have this discussion.
We'll do this later.
Especially with recent events, I'm sitting there, I'm like, damn, I can't just be an American anymore. I have to be something else. But no.
Don't give in to the hyphenated American.
But I think at this time, if you're looking at all of this and you're still believing the FBI in any measure, and you're still believing that any of these people are any sort of truthful, and you're not looking at it with a grain of salt, I'm sorry, you're a rube. You're a rube. I mean, there has been so much shit that's been going on really recently. You don't even have to go back to, well, I think in the 60s, I think JFK was shot by somebody in the grass. It's like, no, dude, that was a long time ago. I get that. But no, you can look at recently. Look at just the Michigan incident.
Look at last week.
Well, no, look at January 6th of this year, when they were like, yeah, everybody show up. And who showed up? Was it?
Yeah. The only feds,
anniversary.
The only feds camp out.
Yeah. It was like, I'm sorry. If you're looking at this and you're still like, yeah, but why would the federal agency do you're fucking retarded. Okay. You're dumb shit. You jump off a building, fuck off. Like, I'm sick of this shit. These people fucking craft nonsense and push it onto the airways, and then they want to sit there and turn around and be like, oh, but you're no, you're fucking dumb. Okay, we're looking at two
people don't trust us, and that's against Americanism.
Oh no,
like a half step from going full blown Dale Gribble. So
yeah. Oh, and let me rephrase. Look, I'm not telling anybody to kill themselves. I'm trying to tell you, let me cast my fucking word magic with a K. Because there's, again, fucking dumb fucks who's, oh my god, that person said to kill themselves. Blah, blah, blah. Eat a bullet. Go get the fuck out of here. I'm so sick of these people.
I do have to say, because we mentioned Wendy Goon earlier, you've seen Wendy Goon's video on MLK, right?
I think I
This
did.
must have been when I stepped away. I have no idea who this person is.
So Wendigoon does a lot of videos on ARGs, but also on interesting events from history, interesting crimes,
Pocket
interesting...
sand.
Yes, cannibalistic pocket sand.
Pocket sand.
interesting conspiracies, and he tries to go into as deep of a dive as he can while trying to give all the different sides without really stressing which one he's on.
Not only that, but
Except
he does a good job of at least citing sources. So I mean,
Yep.
that's one of the things that I like when I watch a lot of these things. If they cite sources, if they don't cite sources, I tend to But if they cite sources, I look into it. You know, if it's that's the important thing, is because a lot of times you'll hear, oh, you're watching YouTube videos. It's like, well, yeah, but if this guy did the work and put all the information together and he gives you where he got the information, I think it's worth a watch, because I do that a lot with my history stuff. You know, like I'll watch a video like Epic History TV, and it's
or Gods
yeah,
and Generals.
Gods and Generals is a great one, but it's they show where they're getting their information from, and if you want to back look at or look back at it, go and look at the sources. And
Yep.
a lot of times they're just presenting it in an easier pill to swallow. And Wendigo, yeah, like I said, the only thing I don't like, sir, put on some graphics. I'm sure your wife loves you, but
He does in certain episodes. He does more graphics.
yeah, he does put graphics sometimes, but there's a lot. I mean, thankfully, a lot of times I'm just listening to it. But there's times where I'm having it on, while I'm doing something else, and I look over on the screen, it's just him talking. I'm like, dude, I don't need some dude looking at me talking. Just get out of here. You're making me feel weird.
But yeah, with Wendigoon, he did a video on the MLK assassination.
Yes. And it was somebody with the Corvette and left a suitcase, and the gun wasn't,
Yep, he went completely into everything. And like I said, most of the time he tries to be as objective as he possibly can. But the entire time that he's doing this video and putting out all the evidence that he's looked into, which you can look into it yourself, see whether you find it credible or not. But there's several times where he's going, okay, I'm not saying that the FBI... Yes, I am. I am saying the FBI fucking murdered MLK. It was not this dude. It was the fucking FBI. I am 100% saying that. But I'm not sad.
Yes. Let's go ahead and make that clear. None of us here, either on stream or in chat, are sad. We're all bright, happy, shiny people.
Yeah.
And Assassin is yelling at me about the warrant. He says, not only did the feed refuse to provide a copy as required by law, they also forced the lawyers out and operated without legal observation as required by law.
Well, not only that, but even them telling them to turn off the cameras is like, again, I'm sorry.
Yeah, how shady do you want to fucking look? Turn off the cameras, please.
If you hear that and you're still like, yeah, but he did crimes, and so it's like, no,
he did crimes, so we got to do crimes right back. That's the law, right? No.
If anything, you should be 100% for yes. If the feds go in there, they should be observed, because what in the fuck are they doing? And if you again, it just baffles me that there's people who would dispute simple knowledge like that. Like, yeah, you're right. They should. Weren't you guys joking that the cops would sprinkle some cocaine on a black guy after he dies? And it's funny because the cops are. But the feds, why would they do that to Trump? Oh, that's no.
Now, see, that's the difference. The police, they would sprinkle crack on you. The feds, they can afford just straight powder cocaine.
No, the feds would put nuclear coke in your fucking
The thing is that if the feds come up to you and they say, turn off your security camera, you go, okay, absolutely. It's off. It's not fucking off. You record every fucking moment. You tell them that it's off, though.
No, you turn off the one camera that they can see, and you leave the other ones up.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You turn off enough that they go, okay, it's off. And you make sure that everything's still being recorded.
I believe, was it Roger Stone who they had amphibious assault vehicles raid his
No,
place?
they didn't have like an amphibious assault vehicle. They had but they did have like a gang of like FBI SWAT agents
Yeah, they
going
had
through his house at like 6 in the
more.
morning.
They had more SWAT agents dealing with him than they have with a lot of drug dealers.
I just remember because I think I can't remember the name of who it was because I know there was 2 or 3 people that they did this shit to, but I just remember like it was one where it was like in the morning or in the middle of the night or whatever, and they dragged both him and his wife out in their 90s, and the CNN was there already.
Oh
That
yeah,
was
it was
Roger
Roger
Stone.
Stone.
Okay,
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like 6 in the morning.
yeah.
And you
So
had a gang of federal agents. You had a CNN truck just sitting there waiting for them to
it's
pull
like
up.
if
It's like,
you see
that doesn't seem
yeah,
shady at all. Nah.
if you see that, I don't care. Look, if this is a true test of your neutrality, okay, or your ability to be able to look at things at a neutral level. If you see that and you're not at all a little miffed that a government agency is able to do that to somebody, I don't care what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have to reassess your value points, or
Yeah.
shut the fuck up and stay out of the fucking game. Like, that's 100% it. Like,
I just love how the CNN people were like, "Oh no, like we just got there because we had a really good reporter who he sussed it out." Like bullshit.
yeah, no, he was
Yep.
doing his. He was one of them gumshoe fucking detectives in the beginning, and he.
Yeah, that's how you know that it's complete fucking just heaps of bullshit. It's like CNN, good reporters, right? Sure.
Yeah, it would be one thing if we had a strong tradition of gumshoe reporters that's alive and active. It's not.
Yeah,
None
what's
of
the
them
scoop?
fucking-
I'm sitting here digging a scoop. I was out here at 2 a.m. waiting because I could have sworn he was going. Oh shit! Here comes the FBI. Let me go chat with my pals at CNN.
If we had a shit ton of crack shoe or crack gumshoe reporters, we wouldn't have had the media going, Weinstein, that's a myth. Fucking Epstein, that's a myth. That's all just made up. Holy shit, it isn't? Who would have ever known? No, they would have been the ones going through and doing all the investigation, having all of that, and going like, yeah, the government's trying to shut us up. Here's everything, though. Fuck it. Just like we had back when we had reporters that were breaking into the mob, and we had reporters ending up dead because they wouldn't give up looking into something that they thought was newsworthy. We don't have that. We don't have reporters that are willing to sacrifice themselves like that. What we have is we have a bunch of reporters that have never even talked to a person that's in the real world. They have an assistant that goes and talks to the Starbucks barista. They don't even talk to her. That's who we currently have now. Fuck them.
Cannibalistic. I see your point, but this is not my face. I just found this face on a Google search. So no. And I've only started doing this recently. Get the fuck out of here.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it is hypocrisy, I guess, right? No, it's not, because it's I'm not explaining shit that I could be displaying stuff.
What you need to do is you need to get a whiteboard and just have the camera feed on the whiteboard. Just every time you start talking about shit, start drawing.
Start drawing stuff. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, if you tune in on Sundays, though, usually the video footages of video games. That's on
So
my
here's
face.
where the grassy knoll is. Back and to the left. Back and to the left.
You know, I don't think it was Wendigo, but I saw a video on JFK, and it was, what their explanation was, it was multiple shooters, and one of them, the one who got him, was hiding in a sewer grate, and shot up at him and ran through the sewers to get away. And they justified it by showing a bunch of video clips of people interviewed like right after the incident, and they were saying, "Oh, yeah, I heard a shot coming from over this area. I heard a shot coming from over here." Type of thing. But hey, that's where the whole conspiracy theorist sprang up from. You know, that was what they used to anybody who started questioning what happened. Oh, you're a conspiracy theorist. You're a Looney Tune. You're a goofball. You're crazy.
Yeah, and the
Andy
thing is,
Dufresne crawled through 500 meters of awfulness. Came out
the
clean.
thing that always drives me crazy is that there's things that, yeah, you should look at like, no, you're just being a conspiracy theorist when you hear them. Then there's other things that when you hear, you should go, okay, is this fucking accurate? And people seem to assume the latter is the former and the former is the latter more often than not. And that it pisses me off because you'll have a shit ton of people that are going, oh, the moon landing. No, fuck you.
Or I like magic bullets. They're bouncing off bones and shit.
You have
say it bounced
people,
off his neck bone.
You have people going, well, they really have this and no, fuck you. Whereas when you have something that is actually no, this is why we're saying this is a conspiracy, because this is a actual conspiracy. Here's all the fucking evidence. And people are going, oh no, that's just a conspiracy theory. Well, technically, because it's a theory about a conspiracy, but look at the fucking evidence. It's here. It's right fucking here. And like I said, we just need to get people to realize that there's some that, yeah, they are theories about conspiracies, but there's fucking evidence to it. The ones that I can most easily point to are the people going, well, MK Ultra was just a conspiracy theory. No, we have the documents.
Yeah, they released the documents. Well, hold on.
We have the documents saying we did this shit.
That's the thing, though. Yeah, well, even with that, they were talking about, again, that's something that sprang out of fucking paperclip. So, again, it's just more Nazi shit. But it's here's the thing that I'm on, at least at how I see it. It's either the people when you run across these people, it's I would categorize them in 2 points. One, they're either incapable of understanding it, like it's just not there for them. And not to say that, oh my god, you fucking eat glue and shit. It's like, no, it's for some reason it's just not clicking with your line of knowledge. The other one is just the stout, no, that can't happen because it would dissolve my worldview and I can't let that happen. So no, the government can't run the post office. So how could they do this? Oh, they're so incompetent. Somebody would spill the beans, blah, blah, blah. And all this retarded, excuses that they try and conjure up. Right now, we are seeing all of that exposed. No, they are very capable of doing this shit. Yes, they don't give a shit who they do this to. And that's the whole point. Like there's a group of people who are vehemently trying to maintain control, and they're doing whatever they have to do to maintain that. And the curtain's coming off. And whether you want to believe it or not, that's the reality. Like there is a group of malicious people who are willing to do shit like Ruby Ridge, like Waco, like this shit. And not to say like, oh my god, the Mar-a-Lago raid is just like, no. But again, it's just like Roger Snow. If they're capable of, if they want to do something, they can obviously do it.
Yep. And the thing is, again, you have to look into what actually backs up the things that people are saying. And even if you are inclined not to believe it, you have to look into it, see if what they say is valid. If you're inclined to believe it, you have to look into it and see if what they say is valid. Neither way do you just get to write it off as, oh yeah, this is absolutely true because fuck the government, nor do you get to write it off as, oh no, this is just a conspiracy theory, so I don't need to even think about it. No, you have to look into it either fucking way. And
but the only thing on that I would say is at this point, if you're looking at it and you're still sitting there saying, "Oh nah, come on, why would the federal agency do that?" It's like, really? Yeah, JFK says he's going to scatter the CIA to the winds, and like a day or two later, his fucking head's blown off. Like, oh yeah, no, that's just come on. Who would have thought that? That's Al Capone. That's Al Capone. You're going over this. It's like, hey, we heard you did this. What? What are you talking about? I never would have done that. I'm a good guy. I'm a stand-up guy. It's like, okay, yeah, I guess we'll take your word for it. And the next day, he does some more shit, and it's like, what? Come on, you think I would have done that? These fucking, these fucking people, man. But then again, you got to look at it, and at least what I'm seeing is, yeah, you know, it's the effect of the general masses is taking effect. A lot of them are just more worried about paying the bills, keeping the lights on. So I mean, they don't have the luxury of being able to look into this stuff, or even if they cared, you know, to look into it. What I can tell you straight out, the knowledge I have on all of these topics, it's not earning me extra money. It's not paying me bills. It's useless as far as I know at this point. But I do have this information. Man,
if I could make money reading conspiracies on the internet, I'd be so fucking rich right now.
Well, you have a decent voice.
Maybe I should go the Wendigo route and just shove my face on the camera and just talk for hours on end.
Shove your face on, talk, and while you're doing that, you have Inquisitor there to help out with doing everything that you need for OBS. You could do more visuals if you're so inclined and get those going.
No, because at the end of the day, I still also despise the people who sit there and talk on YouTube and be like, oh, you know, thanks for your support. Oh, hey, thanks for the $5 super chat. Oh, that's great. Oh, wow. Yeah.
Because I feel personally attacked.
Yeah, I do. I'm sure you do. I only say that because typically I find those people to be the ones that will also turn around and chastise the working stiffs, and it's like, you know what, the working man is a real fucking man.
See, the thing is that you don't have to be an asshole. That's the problem when you have that, because it's possible to talk online without becoming Hassan Piker.
Yeah, you don't have to go that route. You don't have to be that extreme.
You don't have to be an asshole, and a lot of the creators that I watch are not assholes. Even a lot of the really successful ones still end up being pretty damn humble. At least the ones that I like end up still being humble, and that's why I like them. That's one of the reasons why for a number of them I'm willing to support, whereas others I'm going, no, fuck this person, because they are just assholes that wanted power and they got power of some sort, and they've proven that they should have never been given power of any fucking sort.
No. Well, not only that, but I think a lot of them, their egos get the best of them, and they feel that their opinion has a bit more weight than it does. It doesn't. All right, humble yourself, sir. I am kind of confused that I shouldn't be reading chat. I usually don't read chat for this reason. Why is it when Adam steers? I don't know what the picture is supposed to be. When Adam steers is the conversation, we end up on the ceiling in an MC Escher drawing. Nice. What does that mean? And you know what's funny is I was also told when I'm hosting my show that I let the guests lead me, and I don't take I need to take more control of the show. So I don't know.
I think what they're saying is that I'm a Spurg. Get me to shut up sometime and pick the topic rather than letting me just rant.
Well, but that's the fun part of hosting, is I could just sit there and play games. That's why I hope to get a lot of people on there. So I was like, oh, yes, you talk and let me play my game. But when you're hosting, it's like, yes, let me unload all of my tinfoil hat secrets. Hey, do you want to know how Paul died?
Whereas for me, it doesn't matter. I'm a guest or I'm a host. It's did something just flick something off in my head? I'm writing that now. It's just going to be complete rant out of fucking nowhere that will take up the next hour, hour and a half, 2 hours. Fuck it, I don't know how long it's gonna be. It's just going to go.
I like it though. That's fun conversations, you know. I mean, there's a time and place for both, you know. Like I kind of like I said, on Sundays I tend to try and push a more video game oriented view. But that's why I like going on your show on Fridays, is because we're talking about crazy shit like this. We were talking about the fucking Khufu not building the pyramids to JFK being assassinated.
MLK being assassinated by the FBI.
Yeah.
Fucking get rid of the FBI and most of the alphabets.
And goofy YouTube creator nonsense.
Yep.
You know the only person I would watch who keeps their face on the screen is my boy George Berg. Hello and welcome to the Slingshot channel.
Oh yeah. York is amazing. Let me show you its features.
I gotta get one of those shirts. He has those shirts now. But yeah, no, yeah.
Oh, by the way, you might be interested in the drink that I'm currently mixing up for myself. I'm going for a proper Navy grog.
You're not gonna bring any of that stuff out camping, are you?
So rum, water, and lime.
Rum, water, lime, and a bit of sweetener. So I'm going to be baking bread tonight because anytime that I show up someplace, I have to show up like a fucking long forgotten avatar of a feasting deity.
I want some of that hangover loaf.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's what I'm going to be baking tonight.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm going to bake the bread tonight.
You know what's funny is Quiz was talking about, he's like, Adam, I packed all this food. We're going to be set. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, dude, if Sanguine brings his Lamis bread, that's probably all I'm going to be eating. I'm like, dude, I'm seriously, like, I'm all 100% set to live life for the next 3 days as a Civil War soldier. You know, just give me some hardtack and some lard. Pork lard. No, fucking make me some stew, hot, what's it called? Hot chunk stew or something like that.
And I'm going to be bringing some prefabbed camping meals, but then I'm also bringing some other shit, jerky and the like, and I'll see if I can bring anything else. I'm going to bring the bread, going to see what sorts of alcohol I can secret away on my person. And
wait, are we not allowed to bring alcohol?
Oh no, just I'm going to be stashing it all over myself if I possibly can.
I was gonna say, like, we have a problem.
Yeah.
Because if we can't bring alcohol, that means I can't bring my medicine, and that's gonna be a problem.
Yeah, I'm going to be just loaded down with various things if I can manage. I'm going to be.
I can't go camping without my methamphetamines.
God damn. I didn't know we were planning an attack on Pearl Harbor.
No, it's Christmas. There's Hessians across the river. Oof. Oh, I'm sorry. That was too soon.
Too soon?
How fucking long do you want to wait?
I'm sorry.
1776 is not too
1776. Over again.
I think I've told this story before, but I was working at a convenience store, and every now and then we get foreigners down here every now and then. You know, not regularly, but every now and then.
You just stare at them until they leave.
No. obviously, I'm sitting here. I'm surrounded by people who talk kind of like me, but maybe more hickish. I guess you could say.
Oh,
So, like, I hear that foreign accent. It's like, immediately my ears perk. It's like, where are you from? What are you doing here? Like, I was born here. I have a reason for being in this place. What are you doing here? And one time it was this German lady, and she sees me reading the newspaper because I've already got all my stuff done for the day, and I'm just waiting for customers to come in.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm reading the travel section of this one newspaper because I've read all the other newspapers and all the other sections of this newspaper, and I'm just bored. And I guess she takes that as me having some kind of wanderlust or something. It's like, oh, this poor young man stuck here, dreaming about the big wide world. Nah, just bored. So she starts going in this tirade, like, I pity you Americans. You work too much. You never have any time for vacation or travel or this or that. And, she finishes her little screed, and I just kind of look over the newspaper at her. And I pity you Germans. You can't win a war to save your lives.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, it was totally uncalled for. It's like, what the fuck, lady?
Yeah, it must be nice having all your defenses taken care of.
So yeah, like needless to say, she was none too pleased with my response. She grabbed her shit and got out like she should have.
And hey, she's lucky that she's in America, because it sounds like the upcoming winter is going to be kind of cold for them Germans.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, wasn't there a general nicknamed Old Hickory?
That was
Yes.
Andrew Jackson.
That was Jackson.
Jackson, yeah.
The asshole that's responsible for the Trail of Tears. Thank you for reminding me, Adam.
Also, one of the
somebody
most...
said you said Hickory. I was like, wait, Old Hickory? Because I was going to
Did
make
I
a
say
joke about.
Hickory?
I think so.
Also, one of the most ridiculous people in history. Even if you hate him, you have to tip your hat to just the sheer insanity of the man.
I tip my hats to two things. One, trying to get rid of the central banking stuff.
And two, my lady.
But two, having a crazy party at the fucking White House. That's it.
Come
Other
on,
than
you
that,
aren't going to tip your hat to him surviving the attempted assassination?
Who?
Jackson. Jackson,
Oh, yeah.
Someone tried to assassinate Jackson. And the running joke is that the bullets were scared of him because the man attacked him right outside Congress.
They were still using ball ammunition back then. I don't count that.
Went running up, had one revolver he pulled out, leveled at Jackson, called him a son of a bitch, pulled the trigger, it didn't fire. Dropped that revolver, pulled out his next revolver, leveled it, continued screaming at Jackson, pulled the trigger, it didn't fire.
They had revolvers in the 1820s?
Prior. Probably. What was it? Was he?
When did Colt make his?
Yeah.
I swear that was after Jackson's time.
Let me quickly check.
Did they have revolvers? I thought it was just flintlocks. So
I'm pretty sure that Jackson was around during revolvers, and I'm pretty sure it was a revolver that was used. It wasn't the Colt. I want to say, was it Lamette was the one before Colt?
So says cap and ball revolvers were introduced by Colt in the 40s.
And then let's see, when did this one come out? Okay, so those were the 40s, and when was Jackson's attempted assassination?
Well, he was, like I said, if I'm not mistaken, he was, president in the 20s, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's when...
That's an attempted assassination.
That's when, around the time the Trail of Tears got started, if I'm not mistaken.
It was in 1835.
Okay, so, I mean, close to revolver, but still before.
Let's see. But yeah, the man tried to kill him with 3 guns. None of them fired. So the result was Jackson
I'm not tipping my hat to a guy who survived incompetence, okay?
Jackson hoisted up his cane and beat the shit out of the assassin to the point where the surrounding people, I think it was senators, ended up pulling Jackson off the man.
Hold on. So is Jackson the guy who inspired the fucking senator during the build up to
No.
Civil War,
Potentially.
where they sent the one
Jackson,
senator a bunch of canes?
Jackson beat the shit out of the man to the point where the senators were afraid that he was going to murder him right outside Congress, so they pulled him off the would-be assassin.
If a guy tries to shoot you 3 times, that's not murder.
Yep, but
Yeah.
they pulled him off.
That's defense.
And then in part of the investigation behind it, and part of just interest in it, the Smithsonian, a century later, grabbed the guns that were used. So if they were going to fail at any point, seems a century later after not being fired for a fucking century would be the time that they don't fire. Yeah, all the guns fired first time without any problem.
I would give Jackson a little bit too for New Orleans to be able to pull that off.
Battle of New Orleans was awesome.
Yeah,
I mean, also, you know about the attempted. I want to say mutiny, but mutiny is naval. It would be the land equivalent of a mutiny.
I want to say desertion, but that's more of a leaving.
Not, well, I guess
uprising.
You could call it a mass desertion.
Yeah,
where they shit ton of the militia for the Battle of New Orleans.
Decided that it's still a mutiny.
It's still a mutiny? Okay. So a shit ton of them decided that they didn't like his leadership. They were going to fuck off and they were going to just go their own way, effectively land pirates. And Jackson heard about this. Jackson had been shot the day before, was in a sling. He rode out ahead of the group that was withdrawing. He hopped off his horse, drew his saber, drew a line in the dirt, hopped back up on his horse, loaded his rifled musket, laid it across the horn of his saddle, and pointed it towards the direction where the men were going to come from. When they showed up, he said, "The first man to cross this line, I will personally kill. The next one, I will also kill. I will continue to kill you until I run out of people." And they fucking turned back to battle, deciding that fighting the English was better than dealing with Jackson.
Yep.
Which, fair enough, especially when you look into Jackson's history of duels.
Jackson, he didn't give a shit.
Yeah, Jackson's the only known man to ruthlessly abuse the code of dueling.
You know, I'm thinking about the line from Fight Club. If you could fight anybody, alive or dead, who would it be? And like Edward Norton's like Abraham Lincoln or whatever.
Abraham Lincoln.
Give me Jackson. Give me Jackson. I'd love to beat the shit out of that man.
That would be a bad idea with Jackson's dueling history.
I'm bigger than him. I'll take that risk.
But yeah,
and I'm not talking like pistols at dawn. I'm talking just straight up fist fight.
Yeah, he fought with sword. He fought with saber. He fought fist fights. He did pistol duels. He just fucking dueled everyone.
Since we're talking presidents, I think we should all talk about one of the least respected ones, Taft.
Yeah, much better Supreme Court justice than he was a president.
Am I remember that correctly? That's the fat one, right?
Taft was the fattest president.
I tried to find a wedge. Well, perhaps I found a blockage.
Yeah, Taft got stuck in the bathtub that they got after Garfield got stuck in his bathtub.
Yep. Taft's like, hold my beer.
Taft made a far better SCOTUS than he did president. He was a decent president. He wasn't awe-inspiring. He suffered from being right after Teddy. If he had been after another president, he would have been more impressive. But
well, outside of him being morbidly obese, that's the only reason I remember him is because he followed Roosevelt, and then Roosevelt was like, "Ah, shit, that was a bad idea. Hey, I'm gonna run against him."
yeah, the thing was that Roosevelt was displeased with how Taft did what he did. Taft did have a number of rather impressive accomplishments. Just when you compare them to Roosevelt, they aren't that much. It's just Roosevelt was an absolutely fucking madman, driven by pure, unadulterated will. So comparing anyone to Roosevelt, it's not a generous comparison to them.
That's why I say Robin Williams, with all his faults, he was an apt, or he was the good choice.
He was probably the best choice. Yeah.
Yes. Because son of a bitch, that's exactly what he was. He was just go and do it. You're gonna fucking do it.
yeah, there's very few people that you could compare Roosevelt to in history that they would end up even being somewhat impressive. There's the one dude who ended up becoming the bane of Napoleon, and that's effectively the only person that I can think of right off the top of my head from recent history. Ancient history, you can find some people that you could compare versus Roosevelt, and it would be an even competition.
Oh, yeah,
but,
definitely.
Like I said, the guy who was the bane of Napoleon, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he was given advice by Nelson, and he just fucking ran with it. And the advice he was given by Nelson was effectively, fuck strategy, just go straight at them.
The bane of Napoleon, are you talking about a different leader?
Duke
or
of Wellington?
No, it wasn't Wellington, because Wellington was the one who is acknowledged as having beaten Napoleon in Waterloo.
But he didn't really do too much outside of that, right?
Yeah, there was one here. Let me quickly look up who it is. There's one dude who's recognized as the bane of Napoleon and was recognized by Napoleon as the bane of his existence. Because this dude kept on popping up and fucking up everything that Napoleon wanted to do.
I'm just trying to think of the people who, like, it wasn't Nicholas, because eventually Nicholas and him kissed. It wasn't the Duke of Prussia or the King of Prussia, because he was constantly losing. It was
no, it was an English. I want to say captain.
It's always the English. The English.
Assassin saying the guy who beat Napoleon, Wellington. No, the other guy.
Yeah, it's a very different person. It isn't Napoleon. No, it isn't Wellington, because Wellington beat Napoleon. There was one guy who Napoleon was going completely fucking crazy over not being able to beat. And like I said, the dude just kept on fucking up everything that Napoleon was trying to do. And it infuriated Napoleon.
Napoleon. I think it was the dude. It was the dude who gave him the ice cream at the Ziggy Piggy.
I got something completely different for you. You guys know that the World Cup's going to be starting up soon, right?
The what?
The World Cup.
I now do.
FIFA, soccer.
Oh,
football.
yeah. Actually, I heard EA
you know
is
where
not going to
they're
do it anymore.
Well, EA doesn't do anything really anymore. I want my college football back, damn it. But no, you know where they're hosting the World Cup this year?
Where's that?
Qatar.
Get up the. Oh wait, they finally built the stadium.
Yes, the slave labor finally built the stadium.
Wow, those guys are slacking.
The
I
fact
guess-
that they have a museum to international slavery that was built with slave labor.
I saw the video of it too. They sing really well. Deliver us.
But no, I just saw, scrolling through Twitter.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't joke about actual. Yes, there are real slaves out there in Qatar, and yes, they were compelled to build the stadium. I shouldn't make light of it. That's my fault. I'm sorry.
Just
Don't yell
if
at me,
you,
assassin.
If you are not from a Middle Eastern country, do not go work in a Middle Eastern country.
Yeah. It's
You
not
know,
a good.
if you're, if you're working construction or whatever, don't go to the Middle East. If you're an Instagram influencer, don't go to the Middle East. Plenty of reasons not to go to the Middle East. But no, I just think it's funny that they're going to have the World Cup.
Okay, I just looked it up. It was Sir Sidney Smith was the guy who I was trying to think of.
Okay.
Sir Sidney Smith was the person that Napoleon believed was his absolute fucking bane. And it was this insane naval commander who, like I said, he was given advice by Nelson of effectively fuck strategy, just have at them, and he did that his entire goddamn naval career, just absolutely smashing the shit out of people in naval battles. And then he also ended up effectively being a master of amphibious warfare. So he would use naval materials in land operations to ridiculous degree, smash Napoleon's army.
So he used the English philosophy. What was it? The British Army should be a projectile, fired by the British Navy.
Somewhat, but it was him also using the British Navy and British Marines as ground troops as well as naval troops. And he did ridiculous shit with that. Just kept on fucking up everything that Napoleon was trying to do. He fucked up a lot of Napoleon's Middle Eastern campaign. Fucked up a lot of other campaigns. Ended up going effectively mercenary for a while. And was hired on by various other European kingdoms and used their forces to fuck over Napoleon.
I didn't.
He just
read
kept on
too
popping
much.
around and screwing up everything Napoleon wanted to do.
Well,
I
since
didn't
we were
read too
talking about
much
the
in
Middle East,
in Napoleon's bit in Egypt. Just that he was sent over there.
Yep.
But was that the reason why he didn't really? What, or was this person the reason he couldn't maintain control over there?
Oh yeah. The guy went over, was able to get a bunch of the Middle Eastern forces to unite and fight for him. He then used his English men as the spine of the force, and he forced Napoleon back into a position where Napoleon was going to lose. Napoleon was able to get aboard a ship and go back to France with a portion of the army, making another general stand and fight a rear guard action for him. Sir Sidney Smith was then able to effectively defeat that general, was able to negotiate a surrender of that general. Unfortunately, some of the higher-ups in the Navy did not like that Sidney Smith was able to do this, and reneged on all of the parts of the surrender that Sidney Smith had agreed to, which then ended up causing Napoleon to gain power, because the way that Sidney Smith had negotiated it, that general was going to be allowed to return to France with the bulk of his force, and he was a major opponent of Napoleon. At one point during the Middle Eastern campaign, Napoleon had dug trenches, and this one general looked at the trenches and was rumored to have said, "These trenches might be fine for Napoleon, but they'll come up no higher than my shin."
I was trying to say something real fast about Qatar.
Yes, them using slave labor and
Well, no.
people.
The only thing I really wanted to say, because I don't think any of
World
us
Cup?
give a fuck about soccer, honestly. But
Mhm.
I just
Do you
thought it
watch
would be
soccer?
funny. No. I just thought it'd be funny to have, like, because being Indian and everything, gotta have a little gambling going on.
Ooh,
I just
okay, I
want
like
to
that.
start like a pool to see, like, how who collapses. When they collapse, is it more from heat exhaustion and heat stroke because it's fucking Qatar and they're like 2 feet away from the sun,
No, it's them fucking.
or is it from myocarditis from the vax?
Oh, whoa, dude. Okay, look, here at the Minions of the Zoo, we
It's
acknowledge
something.
all the vaccinations, and we don't think that they do anything bad to anybody.
It's soccer. When they collapse, it's because they're
That's
hamming
good.
it up.
That
No.
was good,
When they
Cal.
collapse and stay down, Sanguine, that's 2 different things. Yeah, we know they flop like fish, but
Yeah. No, yeah, there's been an alarmingly increasing amount of pro athletes just dropping. And yeah, talk to me after the show, Campbell, about that bet.
let's see if we can get that pool going. Yeah.
Once we don't have the prying eyes of the chat and the viewership, man.
Oh no, man, you gotta get Chad in on the pool too. How is he expect to make some money?
We're not talking about making money. We're talking about the efficacies of betting on whether or not somebody's going to die of heat stroke or,
No. We didn't say anything about dying. We just said collapsing.
well, okay. If you want a Nickelodeon the word.
Collapsing might just be heat exhaustion rather than heat stroke.
Yeah, the horse fell over because he wanted to sleep. He wanted to take a nap. Oh no.
Yeah, exactly. It's the assassin. A sudden adult death syndrome. Is it going to be SADS or is it going to be heat exhaustion? Which
They
gets
were
the
very
higher body count in this year's World Cup.
Well, the thing is, SADS is already taken because you have SAD, seasonal affective disorder.
Oh yeah, but that's what they were doing, using though sudden adult death.
Yeah, I'm
They were using it
33.
for a bit.
I've heard of SIDS all my life.
Yeah,
This is literally I started hearing about sudden adult death syndrome a couple months ago.
yeah.
Yep.
It's a recent thing.
Like, oh, you guys are just making shit up now. Okay,
Yeah, and they're stealing another initialism because
another
or
acronym.
actually another acronym because it is pronounced.
They
Because you
really
already,
like their acronyms, don't they?
you already have SAD, and SAD is seasonal affective disorder. And
Well, no, see, this is SADS. There's another S saying when it's not the same acronym. It's totally different.
yeah, but now it's really close. It just sounds like you've pluralized SAD.
Oh my god. I really should not be scrolling through Twitter when I'm on stream, but Jesus.
What monstrosity did you just find?
Oh no.
One second.
I mean, you don't have to post it because we don't. I mean,
well, no.
if
This is safe for streaming.
oh,
It's
okay.
cool.
It's PG.
Yeah. This is a New York Post screenshot.
Okay, let me pull it up.
Oh no. Are you sure it's PG?
Yeah. No nudity or anything like that. It's
Oh, she went from kind of cute to looking like an alien.
What the hell?
Our boy Dax, he's the first reply I see here. She looked like Karen Fukuhara. Yeah, she kind of did. Yeah, she looked cute.
Yeah.
And I don't know what. Get your money back, sweetheart. You go get you a refund because that monstrosity. No, you should not be
Hold
paying
on.
money
This
for that.
reminds me of. This is like the modern day lady who wanted to look like Barbie.
Well, there have been a few of those. There's a couple of Barbies. There's a dude wanted to be a Ken doll.
There's the Tiger Woman.
What?
There's
Do
the
you not
German African lady.
Tiger woman?
No, look. If there's humans out there that want to look like other humans and they're willing to spend money on plastic surgery, you know what? I hope you don't experience a lot of pain, and
Camel,
you
I'm-
enjoy your life afterwards. That's all I can say. That's
I'm going to request that you become my research arm for a moment because I'm cutting up mushrooms that I'm eating for dinner.
Okay.
bro. What kind of mushrooms, dude? Yeah. Oh
I'm the
wait.
tiger woman.
Oh.
The woman
Tiger
who wants
woman.
to look like a tiger.
Hmm.
Okay.
There's also the dragon woman. Either one will work.
Well, there's also the lizard man. I've actually
Yep.
met the lizard man.
Why can't we go hang out with Camel this week? What's some of those mushrooms? Oh wait, what?
But
Okay,
yeah,
let's
the
see.
mushrooms that I'm currently chopping up are some pink oyster mushrooms and some lion's mane.
Now, is this like the leopard man in Scotland, where it's like tattoos?
Tattoos and body mods.
Okay. Let's see here.
And she looks fucking terrifying.
Are we talking about the Texas woman?
Might be. Does she look fucking terrifying?
Please don't post a picture. I want to try and get some sleep tonight.
No, post a picture. I want everyone
No.
not to be able to sleep.
Well, see, this one, I don't know if I'd say terrifying necessarily because it's just like tattooed tiger stripes all over her body. I don't see any like body modification. Yeah, she's a little chunky, so I mean, it might give Adam some nightmares.
Did you say she's chunky? She's gonna give me. Hey, you know what? Look, if she's a little gordita, I don't think it's too much of a problem.
Okay, well that might not be too bad then for you, but
I said a little,
definitely a
just a
butterface.
little bit.
Okay. I found the one that I was thinking of.
Because I'm just going through images here, and like most of this is like makeup art. I've got a couple.
Okay, I won't do that.
That one
If
I
she's-
can't tell if that's makeup or what. That's just
If she cakes on makeup, I can't do that because that's just. Why are you lying?
Why the fuck you lying?
You always lying.
Let's see. Yep, this is the one that I was thinking of. I'm going to share it so that everyone can see the tiger woman that I remembered.
Wait, isn't the tiger lady who fights Wonder Woman?
This is the tiger woman.
Tiger Woman.
ugh.
Whoa, no.
That's
So
how did
she
she
has-
chew her food?
Those are not what the fuck is going on?
So she had implants in order to raise her cheeks. She had her mouth widened. She had her jaw resculpted. She had her head completely resculpted. She has a bunch of implants, those metal prongs
Mhm.
that she can put whiskers out of. She had dental reconstruction to make her teeth tiger-like.
Again, how does she chew her food?
Not very well.
How did she afford this?
She's fucking insane and spent her entire life's earnings.
Well, but then
Now, see, at least
then
with
where
the
did you
leopard
go from
man,
there?
I want to know her motivation because I remember the leopard man and the lizard man being on Ripley's Believe It or Not back in the 90s.
Yep.
Late 90s, early 2000s, whenever that show was still airing.
So freak show shit, right?
Yeah, well, it was Ripley's Believe It or Not, dude. Yeah, it was freak show shit.
It's circus, but didn't they
It
cancel?
was hosted by
Bailey's?
Dean Cain too.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
By the way, the naval grog that I made is rather fantastic.
Yeah, how's it
but
going? Are
like
you gonna bring some?
I met
I can make a flask of naval grog.
Yeah.
I met the lizard man because he was driving, like, I can't remember if he was driving down to Texas or up from Texas, but he ran out of gas like in the middle of winter near my area. And so like sheriff's deputies brought him in to the store that I was working at, same store where I told off the German lady. And I guess like 3 o'clock in the morning, 2, 3 in the morning, I'm working a double because the person who's supposed to come relieve me decided, the weather's too bad for me to show up.
Oh, I kind of love that, right?
Yeah, it's like, I live at the bottom of a hill. I can't get a ride. Well, walk your ass up to the other side of the hill. Meet your ride there. But so yeah, I'm sitting there just, like, it's kind of that hazy, like, I'm awake, I'm standing upright, but just I'm not there.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, this green dude, walks into the fucking store at 3:00 in the morning. And I'm like, just kind of screwing my eyes up, blinking at him, trying to like focus. Like, am I seeing what I think I'm seeing? Like, am I awake right now? Like, is this this legit?
This needs to be a comic.
And he walks in to pay for his gas, and I'm like, "Are you?" He's like, "Yep." I was like, He's like, "Yep." I was like, "Okay, I know you get this question a lot, but why?" Apparently, he was working on his PhD in philosophy, and his thesis was on what it means to be human. I was like, so you decided to turn yourself into a lizard? I was like, okay, cool, man. Have a good one, But the one thing I remember about the Leopard Man, I don't recall his motivation for the body modification and tattooing and everything. The only thing I remember about him is like one little bit of his history. He was in the British SAS.
Yo,
what the fuck?
Yeah, the Leopard Man of Scotland was in the SAS before he started doing all that wild shit with his body. I was like, okay, you've seen some shit, so I can understand you going off the reservation. This other dude, though, he's just studying philosophy, which is why, like, philosophers,
whoa,
stay away from him.
Going off the reservation is kind of a trigger term. I don't think we should say that.
I've got a race card, Adam. I can say whatever I want.
I know.
I don't care what kind of fancy car you have.
All right, hold on. I'm gonna shore up my beans and rice and tortillas type of commentary for later. Oh wait, no, I can't use that because I'm not Mexican.
Ridley Scott is making a Napoleon movie starring Joaquin Phoenix as Napoleon. Okay.
Yes, and it looks good.
Hopefully,
Honestly,
it's better than that last movie he made with Matt Damon.
What was that?
What was it? The Last Kingdom or something like that?
I thought the last movie he did was... Didn't he do Joker?
No, that was Todd Phillips.
Oh.
Ridley Scott is the director. The last movie he did was one with was it Matt Damon and was it the
you're talking director.
Kylo Ren dude? I think he's in it.
Because
Adam Driver, Adam Shiver.
Yeah,
Adam Driver. Yeah. It's weird to me.
Stream that Camel is on, rather. There is, of course, going to be the IMDb section, which we're now entering into.
Hold on.
You know what? IMDb should sponsor my ass at this point.
Mm-hmm. That they released or leaked, I guess, I don't know, leaked or released or whatever, a couple of shots of the Napoleon shoot, and I do like Joaquin Phoenix looking like Napoleon. And it was funny that I was watching some commentary and they were talking about the historical accuracy of it, and I'm saying there was an older film of Napoleon, and if you want to watch it, go watch it. It's really good. And it's the battle of, I believe it was Waterloo, where the Brits did their square formation and just decimated the fucking French
the Brits
cavalry.
did the thin red line.
Yeah. Oh God, no.
But they did a really good
fucking glorious strategy that only the English were able to make work.
What, the box formation?
The thin red line.
Oh, thin red line. Well, I thought the Brits used more of the what was it? The two-tone or whatever, where like the first line shoots and the second line shoots right after.
Yep, but they did that as a thin red line, so they spread out most of their forces in just a two-man thick line. against the French columns, the French columns were just smashing fucking everyone. I think it was an Austrian that first came up with the idea of the thin line formation. But the Austrians weren't able to hold formation. The English then used it, fucking just decimated columns.
Yes, Waterloo. Thank you, Assassin. But yes, see, these tactics and around this time period is fascinating to me. Because again, I studied a lot more on things like phalanx and municipals, things like that, like a lot older battle stratagems. These once it gets into the muskets, I know very little on it. I know it, but little, and the interest is there, and that's why I was like watching this stuff and reading this stuff is just kind of it's interesting to me. But
all right, you guys made me go to the IMDb, so
I pulled up the IMDb as well.
I just have to say, sweet baby Jesus, stop this man, because Napoleon is in post-production, but they have announced an Untitled Alien prequel.
Oh god.
And Gladiator 2.
Gladiator 2?
Who the fuck is Gladiator 2 about? Everyone died.
It's Gladiator 2.
Stop it, Ridley. Stop it.
The general died.
No.
Everyone fucking died, effectively.
But another Alien prequel.
Yeah, what is that going to be? The prequel to the what the
prequel to the prequel? Maybe, I don't know.
No, well,
Prometheus or
Prometheus? Yeah, the jockeys or space jockeys.
Alien Covenant? I don't know. Like, stop it, man. Alien and Aliens were good. Leave it there.
But wasn't there that one where? Because I remember the one where it was supposed to be a prequel, and then they went back to the planet. And then it ended, and like the character Dave, I think the android, was looking over the planet, and I think they made a movie after that.
Well, let's see. I don't want his producer credits. Why would you put that first? He's a director. He's known as a director. Let's see. They had Prometheus in 2012, and then Alien Covenant in 2017.
Oh, I don't think I saw Covenant. I think I saw Prometheus. Prometheus had the lady, right?
One movie that he did.
Prometheus had the chick from the girl with the dragon tattoo, the original version, not the American one.
One movie that he did
recently. Rapace.
One movie that he did recently that I've only heard good things about is The Last Duel.
See, that's the one like where Matt Damon's got like a fucking mullet, and I had no interest. Now, I do enjoy a bunch of Ridley Scott movies. I mean, he made Black Hawk Down, for Christ's sake. I've said I don't know how many times how much I love that movie. Kingdom of Heaven, awesome.
Kingdom of Heaven is pretty good.
That's a damn good one. He did Hannibal, which was it could have been better. Wait, he did. I forgot he did G.I. Jane.
Whoa! Don't say that. You might get smacked.
I will fucking smack.
Well, I just always remember the line from what was that guy's name? He played Herschel in Walking Dead. Did you just have a brain fart?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, he I'm not even talking like Blade Runner and stuff like that, but I mean, like just stuff from my lifetime. Where there's so many damn good movies he made. Matchstick Men, that was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't all that keen on his Robin Hood, to be honest. But yeah, I mean,
which one was his Robin Hood?
If I'm not mistaken, that's the one with Russell Crowe. Yeah,
where
that's
it was
Russell Crowe one.
Whoa!
Last Roman Legion Robin Hood. Oh no,
I forgot about that.
I'm thinking the King Arthur one.
Yeah, there was the King Arthur where it was that
was Clive Owen, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the Last Roman Legion one with I can't remember who the fuck it was.
Damn it. See, I'm mixing up. Okay. The last movie I saw regarding the Last Legion, Arthur, and Britannia was The Last Legion. I think that was just like a B movie, maybe a C movie, but it was so good. I love it. It's like that's exactly the type of movie that's like you don't care that there's multiple different people in it, blah blah blah, all this, it fits because it just works through it. I watch it and it's like a video game. It's like Streets of Rage, or Golden Axe, where it's like, yeah, you got a bunch of different characters and they all are fucking badass. Yeah.
Assassin says he was bored with Matchstick Man. I can understand that. I like movies where like a con man gets conned.
I don't think I've seen Matchstick Man. What's Matchstick Man?
That's Nicolas Cage and Sam Rockwell.
Oh,
Yep.
geez,
And
okay.
they're con men, and Nicolas Cage apparently like he has a long lost daughter that comes and finds him.
How Nicolas Cagey is Nicolas Cage in Matchstick?
He is a con man who is like neurotic, so he's got tics and whatnot going on. So he's pretty cagey.
See, I was going to say that movie was like a 5 on the Cage scale.
Is he put the bunny down?
Well, yeah, it's nowhere near the level of like Con Air or The Rock or Raising Arizona.
Piss!
No. Face Off, I would say, is an extreme Cage.
I love that
Face
movie
Off
for how
is a Cage
stupid it
fan.
is. I love that movie for how stupid it is. It's like let's forget the fact that John Travolta and Nicolas Cage are two different heights, two different body compositions. I mean, let's throw all that out the window. But when one of the guys is turning around and boning the other dude's wife, she doesn't notice a size difference there? Really?
Mm-hmm.
Gee, honey, you're a little extra girthy since you put that guy away,
No, but they took
the
face
thing
off.
The thing that I love about that movie is, as cheesy, as ridiculous as that movie is, they do a damn good job as acting as each other, acting as themselves.
Yeah,
Well,
they did.
yeah, I mean how many different actors have you seen doing impressions of somebody else on like late night talk shows and whatnot? I mean, I can think of like a dozen probably off the top of my head.
Well,
True, but how many do them extremely well in that weird of a role?
Well, not the plot weird, yes, but to be honest, like to have actors acting as somebody else, especially eccentric actors. Let's be realistic. John Travolta and Nick Cage are eccentric actors to begin with, but to do it as a point as opposed to as an exaggeration or as a goof, like they were supposed to be it. You're supposed to believe that Nick Cage really was John Travolta
Acting as Nick Cage.
acting as Nick Cage. So it's one of those things where it's like, yeah.
I'm not going to say that, Assassin, but I will say I think there may have been more than just one reason why he was paying masseurs to give him a happy ending.
Oh. He did have that doctor hostage for a bit, so maybe he added some...
I'm surprised he didn't just make the Sea Org blow him. But I guess he doesn't have...
He doesn't have like Tom Cruise level pull,
yeah.
Okay?
He doesn't have the Cruise level pull. But I'm still assuming that he have lesser members go under the table for him level pull.
I mean, how did
at least before?
How did Elrond feel about the gays?
At least I'm assuming that he had that before Battlefield Earth.
I'll be right back.
Because after Battlefield Earth, he probably didn't have that level pull. Before Battlefield Earth, he probably did.
Was was John Travolta in following those people at the time, or
Yeah, Battlefield Earth was his love letter to L. Ron Hubbard. It just sucked.
oh right, yeah, that was one of his things, wasn't it?
Yeah. He wrote,
Oh, man.
directed, and starred in Battlefield Earth.
Yeah, which is why he probably should have stuck to acting.
Yep. And like I said, before Battlefield Earth, I'm willing to bet he had the get Sea Org to blow you level of power.
Well,
After Battlefield Earth, a lot of them were pissed off that he made L. Ron Hubbard look ridiculous, but that wasn't really his fault. That was just L. Ron Hubbard's work makes L. Ron Hubbard look ridiculous.
Your prophet of your religion is a science fiction writer who never did a second draft in his life, so you can't blame Travolta for that.
Hey, you know what? George Lucas made Jar Jar Binks look ridiculous.
And
That was a
what to do?
that was a bomb. That was that was a horrible comparison, Adam. You're fucking dumb. I'm sorry. You know,
Well, Xenu can blow me, assassin.
oh,
I don't care if he condemns me or not. As long as he doesn't sue me. I mean,
no, you can sue, but you can't draw water from a rock unless you're one of those clever persons who makes a cheese.
He can sue me. Actually, I don't have shit. I don't have shit we're taking. So.
How successful are they willing to try to make me?
So, oh shit, no battery.
I really do want to know what the plot of Gladiator 2 is.
I don't want to know. It's going to be a direct to fucking DVD.
Plot unknown. Sequel to Ridley Scott's Gladiator.
Like I said, though, you have
Spencer Treat Clark is playing Lucius.
They're gonna make a Patriot 2.
Well, see, the thing of it is like, do you guys know any of the story about Gladiator? Like the original one he did with Russell Crowe?
They used an actual Roman general?
No.
Yes, he did.
Well, I was going to say, with Gladiator, when they started filming, they only had like an outline of the plot. They didn't have a full script. So a lot of like Russell Crowe's dialogue was ad-libbed. Like even the name, Maximus Decimus Meridius, made up by Russell Crowe.
Wait, the fuck? No, it wasn't.
Was it not? There was some line he gave that was completely made up by Russell Crowe based off of like some Latin from a school he attended.
Unless he remembered that there was actually a general, because Maximus Meridius was actually a general.
I could see him ad-libbing some lines in terms of like, especially
this is from like Russell Crowe's Inside the Actor Studio interview. Like they had like an outline for the script. They didn't have actual full dialogue fleshed out. A lot of it was ad-libbed.
That's what I mean. Like for scenes like the gladiatorial fight in Rome, I can see them having a lot of ad-lib points in that would have made it work, because it worked. Those scenes are fucking awesome. Especially like the second one, or I don't know if it's the second one, but the other one where he's fighting the legendary gladiator.
Oh yeah.
Who happens to be the weightlifting partner for Arnold Schwarzenegger, who was one of the villains in Conan. He was the guy,
no.
and
I
also
was wrong. It wasn't Meridius. It was Macronius is the name.
Macronius.
It was Marcus Macronius.
I was gonna say, I was like, I'm fairly confident he made up the name Maximus Decimus Meridius. Yeah. If I'm recalling that Inside the Actor Studio episode correctly, he made that up, and Ridley Scott was like, sounds good. And then
I was double checking because I remembered that the general, there's was actually a Roman general that was under Marcus Aurelius that was leading that particular campaign. That was Marcus, but yeah, it was Marcus Micronius rather than Marcus Meridius.
Wow.
Um,
So Proximo, he passed away 3 weeks before Principal Photography ended.
damn.
The guy that buys
Yep, the
Russell
guy
Crowe.
who was in the original.
Oliver Reed.
Yep,
was the
Oliver
actor.
Reed, who was in one of my favorite movies of all time, The Assassination Bureau.
I'm going through the trivia on the IMDb. Joaquin Phoenix ad-libbed his scream of "Am I not merciful?" Connie Nielsen wasn't expecting it, and her frightened reaction was genuine. Russell Crowe ad-libbed his description of Maximus's home. It's a description of Russell Crowe's own home in Australia.
Nice.
Damn, dude, I'm gonna watch the Gladiator right now.
I mean, it's a good movie.
I love
They
the
managed to make a good movie, but they didn't have a script. They just had like an outline.
But
when they
sometimes
started
that's
filming.
all you need. You know what's sad is just a basic outline, and then people working around it is a lot better than what, say, DC Comics is doing right now. Oh, no. How does that happen? How does that happen? I'll tell you how it happens. Ideology. People have a fucking viewpoint that they want to push, as opposed to just working your craft. You want to tell a story? You have a story. It may not be totally fleshed out, but you have a story. You have a spine. You work it. But some people, not so much. Somebody doing laundry?
No.
That was probably something in my background. I'm not sure which thing it was.
No, sorry. I was laughing at IMDb trivia.
Oh.
Joaquin Phoenix was incredibly nervous on set. He asked Russell Crowe to rough him up before their big scene together to psych Phoenix up. Crowe was at a loss. He went to Richard Harris for advice. Mate, what are we going to do with this kid? He's asking me to abuse him before takes. Harris replied, let's get him pissed. Over the course of several hours and several pints of Guinness, Crowe and Harris relaxed Phoenix.
Nice.
Man, that doesn't surprise me. I heard Phoenix is a
like, mate, have you tried acting?
Hardcore character actor.
Oh yeah, he's a method actor.
Actor, yeah.
In my limited time in theater, I loathe method acting.
Yeah, they're pains in the asses.
It's like, dude, we're playing pretend. Just play pretend. You are not this actual person, okay? Get the fuck over yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And the crazy thing is, it works sometimes. The majority of the time, it does not work. And it's just pretentious assholes.
There's one actor who I think is a method actor that is really good.
If you say Daniel Day-Lewis, so help me God, Sanguine.
He does better than a fair chunk of them, you have to admit. He's the only one that does better.
He was good in Gangs in New York. Come on.
He was very good in Gangs in New York, yeah.
That's the only thing
drink your milkshake.
Yeah.
What about was good, you have to admit that. It was ridiculous, but it was fun and good.
He is talented. I'm not denying that. But he is pretentious as all fuck.
Oh, yeah. I'm not denying that.
And I would want to beat him with a cane like fucking Andrew Jackson if I ever had to deal with him on set.
Yep. Nice drawback, sir.
I would much prefer
bringing it back to 1820.
I would much prefer someone.
Yeah. I would give him a 19th century ass whooping, Adam. Exactly.
I would much prefer someone as good but pretentious as him to someone who is equally pretentious but doesn't have the fucking skill.
Jared Leto.
Exactly.
Yes. But no, like
hey, take him too. As long as
when I was doing theater, which again, very short period of time, only a couple of years.
Same.
for me, I never understood the whole method shit. You know, for me it was more about like, you know, the dress. You know, how did you, you know, how's your character dress? Start there. You know, work from outside in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you guy wearing a suit and tie? Is he wearing, you know, casual clothing? What kind of shoes is he wearing? How does he, you know, how's he going to end up walking around, you know, with that footwear? You know, start there. Work small. What's he got in his pockets? You know.
Yeah, the closest that I ever got to method acting was for one role that I did every year. When it was reaching the days for the show, I would condition my hair. I wouldn't wash my hair. So I wouldn't put shampoo in it because I was meant to be this kind of greasy looking scumfuck. So I would still condition my hair. I'd still run water through it, but I wouldn't use shampoo. That way it would look a bit greasier. And I would muss it up before going on stage. That way it would look the right way for me to be this grave-robbing asshole.
Yeah, that's nowhere near method though.
That's what I'm saying.
That's more. If I'm not saying that's more of the James Lang acting method.
Yeah,
know,
that's what I'm
outside
saying.
in, like I was
that
talking.
is the closest that I ever got to method acting was doing that. Everything else was just no. It's a part that I play. When I was playing in college, I did.
I like how Assassin points out about Gangs of New York. You know, Leonardo DiCaprio being Italian looking, playing an Irishman, and he doesn't point out Cameron Diaz's atrocious accent.
Yep.
She has an accent.
Yeah, she's doing like a very, very poor like Irish accent.
She's doing a very poor Corkish accent, which
that's the only movie I've ever heard her do an accent in. It's like, there's a reason why you shouldn't, honey.
Yep. And if you don't know what a Corkish accent is, yes, you do. You just don't realize that you know what a Corkish accent is.
They're after me, Lucky Charms.
Yes. If you're thinking the fucking leprechaun accent, you're thinking the, oh, God, that is a Corkish accent. There are many.
Well, perhaps they wanted to put a cork on that. Oh shit! I'm sorry.
There are many other Irish accents, but everyone, when they go for an Irish accent, for some fucking reason, is always from goddamn County Cork. It's always that. Right after my Lucky Charms, it's always that shit. They don't do any other Irish accent. It is always County Cork.
I don't know.
I met one lady again, you know, working at convenience store, plenty of foreigners. Mm-hmm. I met one lady from County Clare, Ireland. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, yeah. I don't know how close that is to Cork, but it sounded a little similar to my ear.
It's a little bit lighter, but similar. And then the farther that you get from Cork, the more different it is from Cork, of course. So,
I did miss Assassin's Tropic Thunder reference. The Joaquin Phoenix thing.
It's okay.
Well, no, like because it's been so long since I watched Tropic Thunder. We tried to watch it in Discord a few weeks back with Terry, and unfortunately, the file of it that Johnny had didn't have the primary audio. It just had like the background audio. So like you're sitting there watching like Ben Stiller and Robert Downey Jr. just their lips moving, but you're not, you know. Mm-hmm. But you could hear like the people like in the background of the scene, like moving around. Read the thing about Russell Crowe.
But yeah, the Oliver Reed was in one of my favorite movies of all time, The Assassination.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Actually,
Russell Crowe. It says Russell Crowe paid for a dialogue coach to teach him a proper Spanish Castilian accent for Gladiator. Then he was told Spanish did not exist yet. This is how Kirk Lazarus was born. Yeah, I
Nice.
did miss that because you tagged the Minions account, not me. I didn't see the orange sign. But yeah, that's funny because he was
But
playing a Spaniard.
Oliver Reed was in a few of my favorite movies because he was in The Assassination Bureau. Have any of you seen The Assassination Bureau?
I have not.
Adam, have you seen The Assassination Bureau?
The what?
Assassination Bureau.
No.
So the premise of The Assassination Bureau is that there's this organized group of assassins that you go to them, you pay them, and they'll assassinate anyone. In the Assassination Bureau, Oliver Reed was Ivan Dragomilov, the leader of the Assassination Bureau. So it was who was the woman that played Emma Peel, and
Emma Peel.
was also the Bond girl that actually married Bond and then got assassinated immediately after, was also Mary Poppins.
Damn it! You said Mary Poppins, and now I just spaced on her name.
But you know the actress I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, Julie Andrews.
Julie Andrews, yeah.
Julie Andrews was playing. I think that was the same. Let me really double check before I fuck up. Let's see, the Assassination Bureau.
Oh, so Assassin says Diana Rigg was never Mary Poppins.
Oh, it was Diana Rigg. Yeah, sorry, my mistake. Diana Rigg. You're correct, Assassin. Diana Rigg. They look similar. Diana Rigg, though, was the reporter in the Assassination Bureau that wanted to get the story on the Assassination Bureau, so she contacted the Assassination Bureau and put out a hit on Ivan Dragomilov, the leader of the Assassination Bureau, and then went along on the adventure of Ivan Dragomilov dealing with every member of the Assassination Bureau. Fantastic movie. Absolutely glorious. Oliver Reed being the most Oliver Reed. It is fantastic. I love that goddamn movie. It is amazing. So that's one of them. If you haven't seen The Assassination Bureau, I recommend it. It's kind of an adventure comedy. Then he was also in the old school Three Musketeers. And he played Athos in that. Did a very, very fucking good job.
Old school Musketeers. What do you mean?
The old school Three Musketeers. Remember, there was the remake of the Three Musketeers a little bit ago, but then there's
talking about the one with Robin. What's his name?
Who was the name?
When I think of the Three Musketeers, I think of Charlie Sheen and Oliver Platt and Kiefer Sutherland.
It was Michael York as D'Artagnan.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's an older one.
The one that had Christopher Lee as Rochefort.
Damn, Christopher Lee was in it?
Yeah, it had Oliver Reed, Christopher Lee, both of them fucking fantastic actors. It had Charlton Heston as Cardinal Richelieu. Who else did it have in it? It had... let's see, what are the big names? Raquel Welch was the Comtesse de Bonacieux, something like that. I can't remember the fucking way that you pronounce that word. It's some French. It had Jean-Pierre Cassel as King Louis the 18th. Just really goddamn good version of the Three Musketeers, and then they did the Four Musketeers as well. Oliver Reed was a fantastic Athos, and of course Christopher Lee was fucking amazing because Christopher Lee was amazing in everything. But that was the old Three Musketeers. That one was the... What fucking year was that? shit, what year was that movie? Let me pull it up.
You know, Assassin mentioned that they were parodying actors as well as Hollywood in Tropic Thunder, and he mentioned Jack Black was playing Chris Farley. And then I'm scrolling Twitter, and I see Chris Farley's relative. You guys know who Chris Farley's relative is? That is a big name, right?
I'm blanking on who it is.
Jim
is it?
Farley,
Oh, yes, Jim Farley.
the CEO of Ford.
Yep.
Apparently, they are touting the F-150 Lightning electric truck model.
But yeah, the Three Musketeers that I'm talking about was the 1973 Three Musketeers.
Like I said, man, for me, the Three Musketeers, it's Oliver Platt, Charlie Sheen, and Kiefer Sutherland.
Now, you need to go see the old one from the 1973 version. That one's fantastic. The 1974 Four Musketeers, also fantastic.
And then, I also think of a Man in the Iron Mask.
Yep.
With Gerard Depardieu.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a good one too. Was it Leonardo DiCaprio? Was the
Yep, he was playing a double role of the King of France and the Man in the Iron Mask. Jeremy Irons and Gabriel Byrne.
The other one of my favorite movies that Oliver Reed was in was The Adventures of Baron von Munchausen.
I've heard you talk about that one before, yeah.
It is gloriously insane. I recommend it. He was Vulcan in that movie. And another actor that we mentioned, or another actor and comedian that we mentioned earlier on, was also in that movie, and he played the King of the Moon. And that, of course, was Robin Williams.
good old Robin Williams. God rest your soul, sir.
Yeah, that's the second time today I've heard someone mention Robin Williams. And
third time.
Well, no, I was saying second. I was counting the whole stream as one iteration. When I was trying to fall asleep earlier, it wasn't just NASCAR that I was listening to on YouTube. For some reason, like an old clip from Opie and Anthony with the Joe Rogan came up, talking about the whole Carlos Mencia joke thievery. And there was a lot of stuff. There's some mention of Robin Williams thieving.
Yeah, they said he stole some jokes.
Yeah, but the difference was like he cut checks. You know, like he's like, oh shit, I stole your joke, because he didn't really have a set. He had an idea. You know, just the whole kind of, and he'd be stream of consciousness, and he'd pull somebody's fucking material. And he's like, oh shit, I took your joke. Here, have some money. Sorry about that. But yeah, Mencia still to this day is not willing to say like, yeah, I stole jokes.
Yeah, his joke thievery was incidental joke thievery rather than planned joke thieving.
And Mencia, he was so planned about his thieving that he was stealing from famous comedians like brazenly. Like Mind of Mencia, there are two different skits that he did on Mind of Mencia. One of them's the Bill Cosby one. That was not Mind of Mencia. That was one of his HBO specials. He ripped off Bill Cosby himself. And then he did a skit for Mind of Mencia that was a ripoff of Sam Kinison.
Yep.
Talking about like Jesus and Mary. So that's not even counting like all the stand-up bits he stole from like Ari Shaffir and so on and so forth. And like they mentioned like Dane Cook stealing jokes. Like I knew he ripped off like Louis C.K. I didn't know he ripped off Rogan.
Yep. And then Schumer, also just an unrepentant joke thief.
Now, see, I'm curious if she's actually stealing jokes or if her writers are stealing jokes. Is she stealing material that or is it that she hired writers and they're stealing material?
Oh,
Because
she
they did
hired.
that with like her skit show as well.
See, it wasn't just the
Hold
skit
on,
show,
hold on,
though.
hold on,
It
hold on,
was-
hold
Oh
on.
no, I know it wasn't just a skit show, but
Hold on. That just opens up, like, okay, you just opened up a whole another avenue where it was somebody watching another comic and then ripping off their bit versus somebody who doesn't even know it but just has people looking after it and then compiling it into jokes that they can use.
Yep.
I would say the latter is
Is
more
worse.
is a performer that is not a comedian, and that goes for all of them who like, oh, you're a singer song, you just perform whatever somebody gave you. You're a
Yeah.
performer. You're that there's nothing wrong with that. It's just you're not the person who wrote that shit.
Yeah,
As
if you're a
opposed to
singer without being a songwriter, you're a performer.
yes, and I think man, I think because of this, the joke stealing stuff, I think it was Patrice O'Neill was talking about it on Opie and Anthony, and he
oh
was
yeah, she
saying it
stole
was
from
more.
Patrice. She stole from Kathleen Madigan.
Well, no. I think discussing this type of stuff, I think it was Patrice or Bill Burr. I can't remember. But it was one of the comedians that were saying it's not so much that they're stealing the joke, it's that they're stealing the experience, because a lot of times comedians, if they're making a joke, a lot of good comedians will draw it up from their own experience, so they're telling you a story from their own viewpoint, their own life, and they're making it a joke. So when somebody steals it, it's like they're taking that story from your life and altering it to make it their own. Haha, but you didn't think it was a beaner, haha. And that's
Yeah.
it's not what it is,
Yeah, it's kind of like when you, to give an example from politics, there was the infamous Joe Biden campaign speech theft. Do you guys remember that one?
Is that where he ripped off? Was it like Kennedy?
No, he ripped off, I think it was a English
Oh
politician.
no, Irish. It was an Irish guy.
Oh, it was an Irish. Yeah.
Yeah, it was an Irish politician, if I'm not mistaken.
Ripped off an Irish politician who actually had a legitimate "my families were coal miners" story, and he just completely cribbed the entire story. Nothing matched Joe Biden's life.
Yeah, it wasn't that wasn't the only like plagiarism though of his political career. I could have swore he ripped off like Kennedy. He ripped off, these weren't, with the exception of like that one, UK politician. These are stories like surely anybody who'd had any knowledge of politics and history would be like, wait a second, I'm pretty sure that was JFK that said that, not you.
Yep.
So
his first political campaign ended when enough people got pissed off that he was bullshitting his way through everything.
Oh, 88?
Yep.
Yeah, that the one that got him sunk on that one was the lying about how many degrees he had and his IQ and his position in law school, where he finished, like the top, I don't know what he said, top percentage of his class, and he was like,
I think he was the top 5 or 10 that he said,
and he was like 70 something out of like 80 some odd people.
Yeah, he was the bottom 20.
Yeah, he went on like a half scholarship. He said he had a full ride. Said he had 3 degrees. He only got 1.
Yep.
It's like, dude. And the best part was like the media actually called him out for it back then. They're like, he does not have 3 degrees. He did not get a full scholarship. He did not finish in the top whatever percentage of his class. Yeah, they actually called him out for lying. And now, like, you don't hear fucking crickets.
Yeah, that was back when the media actually had some scruples. They weren't they weren't as forthright and as trustworthy as we ever like to think they were, but they were far more that at that time. Even back when they had the reporters that were willing to risk their lives to investigate the mafia, they were still doing some shady shit, but they were far more objective than they are now.
Yeah.
And it just pisses me off that it's fallen as far as it has.
So how long do you want to keep this train rolling, Sanguine? We've gone 3 hours already.
Oh shit, we have. I completely lost track of time. I was just bullshitting and blathering with you.
We've been going
chaps.
long enough. We're starting to get the sex bots in chat.
Yep. By the way, any of the MotZ in chat?
Assassin already took care of it.
Okay, fantastic.
I would have, but I was flipping around my tabs like an ADD person, and
Yeah.
I came back like, oh, there's like 4 messages that have been deleted.
Kind of the same for me. But with that, yeah, I suppose we should give our parting words and fuck off, leave these fine people to complete their night as they so choose. So, who wants up first for parting words?
I'll go ahead and go first, I suppose.
Copy that.
Kind of on the same theme that I had last night. There are 10 types of people in this world: those who understand binary and those that don't.
Nice. Adam?
Well, I had a fun time on the show. I think we had a lot of good discussions. Hey, I look forward to this following week, man. So that should be fun, and hopefully we can get some streams, or at least communicate with the masses over the week.
Yep.
But other than that, for the panel and the chat, especially the chat, thanks for hanging out. I love y'all, and God bless.
And I'll leave off first with something just to cut off Camel from most likely the next time that he's on. There are 3 types of people in this world: those who can add and those who can't. And then to leave off with my standard of, if you're passionate about something, make sure that you devour it. Don't let it devour you. And with that, have a good night all. The zoo is closed.
Bye, everybody.
Good night.